What's happening? Salute, salute, salute. Where's the business? Salute to the Damu Kiwe Conversations. Salute to all of the mods. Salute to everybody that's supporting on Clubhouse right now. It's been a long day, but we live. You know how they dig what I'm saying? We live. Been a long weekend. Y'all see my mouth covered. I'm in pain. Waiting to get this thing pulled out. Good news, they did move up my oral surgery to get that done. And when I get all my teeth fixed, oh, y'all really gonna be hating on me. But right now we worried about getting these wisdom teeth pulled out first. 2 wisdom teeth. Oh yeah, I'm long in the tooth. You know how to dig what I'm saying? But salute to everybody. Hit that like button on your way in. You know what I'm saying? We definitely got the content. You know what I'm saying? Salute to everybody on Instagram. Salute to everybody on Twitch at Active Chucks. If you on Twitch and you ain't followed us, OG Mac Drama, salute to you, brother. I see you in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Pretty Gang, Pa Root 818. Salute to you, Motor City Blue. Salute to you, baby Motor City Blue. Richard and Money. And there's only one dang 4,500, man. Salute to y'all over there on Instagram. Hit that like button, share. Now, we over here on YouTube. Y'all already see what it is. Welcome to Damu Kiwe Conversations. Hit that like and share. Hit that like and share, man. Just in case y'all didn't know where y'all was at, y'all in the Damu Kiwe Conversation. It's Duke Sims the Don, also known as Bremen. And then you have the Kiwe pop star. Yeah. I don't know if they know who you is.
Oh, I'm sorry, brother. Was that for me, my brother? Was that for Yael, the Kiwe pop star? Hey, man, blessings, man. Salute to everybody tapping in. Salute to my brother for holding it down till I popped up around, because you know how the Kiwe pop star is. Hey, listen. Hey, Duke, we on Clubhouse?
Yeah.
Hey, salute to everybody on Clubhouse. Salute to the mods that's on their job. If you on stage, make sure you share the room 3 times in the hallway. We get that shine. And if you in the goof, salute to you too, man. Salute to everybody on the chat, on YouTube Live. You already know the chat is where it's at. Salute to the Blue Wrench mob that's on their job. And if you a friend and tapped in because of a friend, guess what? Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Y'all see the title? Y'all know what it is. You sitting with Deuce M's, the Don, and Yael, the Kiwe pop star, the authentic voices of the West Coast and the culture. Damu Kiwe Conversations.
Selena, salute to the chat. Welcome to Damu.
Hey, I don't give a fuck about none of that. Fuck Belina.
Hey, Belina became a pop star overnight, my nigga. She went viral. She read the work. I got the work. Belina read the work, and now they making shorts of Belina talking about CS2 back and all kind of shit. Shit that did numbers all on YouTube. Hey, but that's what it's all about, honestly, man. We was also able to highlight someone that she lost dearly to the who was shot, unarmed and shot by police officers. I wish that would have went more viral than the shit on CS2 back, but it is what it is. But this is a platform to promote not only the content that we always put up here, we always got the content, but also the opportunity to promote other brands. That could be your merchandise company, that could be your new music. So anybody interested in promotion, tap in, DM at Active Chucks, or send an email, activechucks@gmail.com. Budget ready. Do not waste our time. You know to dig what I'm saying. But make sure y'all hit that like button as you enter. Binky Mac, hashtag Damu Kiwe Conversation. Good looking out. Papa Dirt, salute, Damu Kiwe Conversations, Crips and B family, strong. Hit them likes on your way in. Thumbs up. All right. The Blue Wrench mob is doing their job. Kid the Barber, shout out to Damu Kiwe Conversations. Deuce M's and Yael, man. Thank you for coming through. Beautiful black lady. Salute to everyone. We waiting for everybody to get up in here, man. We was off that Conscious Daughters Funky Expedition. If y'all don't know about that, man, it's a West Coast classic. Some sisters who was doing they do at the time, you know what I'm saying? Kid the Barber, shout out Deuce. Taylor Gang, salutes Deuce and y'all, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Man, chilling. It's a slow day, but it's all good, though. Hope all is well, bro, with you and your family. Your pops is in good spirits. Yeah, my pops in good spirits. I was trolling them a little bit. Me and Scandalous Los Angeles was on with them. Twist by Meeks. Good evening, Deuce and Yael in the chat. Good evening to you also, Twist by Meeks. G-Mac, 2-1. Damu Kiwe Conversation is still the realest and always keeping our chucks active. Active chucks. Winning. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even share this and promote this live, but it's all right. They'll come up in here once they see we open. What they say, if you build it, they shall come. Miss Lisa, ooh, you an old man now. Yeah, it's gonna hurt. Yeah, I mean, you know, I got a high tolerance of pain. You know what I'm saying? But I don't like pain, but I got a high tolerance of it. Pretty rough. You know what I'm saying? Hope everyone has a great night. There's only one Dame. Salute, man. Young Ron. I see Young Ron. Okay, baby D got that rich. He big flossing in the chat. What's good, y'all? Megan Davis. Hey, how you doing, Queen? You know what I'm saying? Moonshade the third. Salute. Salute to the Damu. Salute to the chat, man. Salute. Let's see what we got. I see all them active chucks in there. Stupefying your mind. Let's go. Cool Sense. Tapping in live from Lancaster. Hey, shout out to Lancaster, man. The desert. You know what I'm saying? Antelope Valley, nigga. You know what I'm saying? The Antelope Valley. You know what I'm saying? Jaji, in here. Let's get this thing wet. Oh, we gonna get it wet. It's matter of fact. Medicated Wookie, salute from East Flatbush, Brooklyn. Is Brooklyn in the house? Without a doubt. Medicated Wookie, salute for the tap in, man. Slimeball TV with your looking ass. He said something today. Salute to everyone in the chat. Salute to you, Slimeball, man. You always supporting the content, man. We really appreciate it. Even though you don't say much, you always looking and you make sure we know you in that chat looking. You know what I'm saying? But we ain't gonna wait no longer. We gonna get right into the damn content. Hit that like button though. If y'all just coming in, we definitely need the help because we did not promote it. Frost is a 40-year-old charity case scammer. Damn, I don't know who Frost is. Hit the like button. I don't know who Frost is. A 40-year-old charity case scammer. Man, that's a lot. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot. We're going to get into it, though. He said he used to live in the Antelope Valley. All right, bam. Where's that video at? Boom, we got that one. We got that one. We got that one. Damn, we don't got my boy. It's all right. We just go get it right now. Cut this one off. Boom. They had me all the way over there, man. I was out of pocket. Let's go. Let's go to Most Scandalous Los Angeles TV. If y'all haven't subscribed, y'all go over there. My brother is doing his thing right now. You know what I'm saying? And I know he don't work as hard as I wish he could. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be trolling him about it. You know what I'm saying? Why y'all didn't bring Ghostman in? Hold on. Let's get to it. Boom. So we're gonna get to this one right now. Shout out to my boy, Scandalous. Oh, this is a good one. We're gonna take little intervals and feed y'all this work, right? But this nigga Scandalous, oh my God, he outdid himself. Let's go. They do to sell just a couple words. He changed it in the movie. He told you that the movie was just the Hollywood effect. They do what they do to sell what you call it. Okay, let me just tell you this. Just notice. I won't say it again. There's only two people there who change. Reggie Wright Jr. wouldn't change.
Welcome back to Scandalous Los Angeles TV, where we expose the exposers. Today, we finally get to hear Porky speak on something we've all been waiting for. His explanation for why his name was changed in Greg Kading's movie. As expected, Porky plays it off like he has no idea what's going on, acting completely oblivious. The person sitting next to him on that very panel is none other than Reggie Wright, the same Reggie who originally pointed out that Porky's name was changed in the film. Reggie made it crystal clear that his name, Reggie Wright, wasn't changed. That small detail speaks volumes, because Reggie's implying that the only names that were changed in the movie were the ones tied to cooperation, Stutterbox, and CS2BAC. You can read between the lines. The suggestion is clear. Names were only altered to protect informants. Salute to Reggie for even asking Porky this question. Now watch closely as Porky tries to spin it, dancing around the truth, downplaying the implication, and pretending like it's all some big misunderstanding. Keep your ears open. This part says more than he thinks.
Gene changed his name in the movie. Okay. Yeah. It was Gene. No, I know it. He said Greg, but I said Greg, but I don't want to answer that question. But I don't want to answer that question. But I don't want to answer that question.
Reggie is saying he doesn't want to ask him that question, because he's the one who told us Porky's name was changed in the first place. Reggie said he didn't want to ask that question. But trust me, if he didn't want to ask it, he wouldn't have asked it. This is how you know Reggie has had enough of good old Porky.
Who name? He said, Greg, why did Greg change your name in the movie is what he's asking. He don't know. They changed everybody's name in the movie. He don't know. They changed everybody's name in the movie. He don't know. They changed everybody's name in the movie.
Did you see the confused look on Porky's face? Like he had no clue what was going on? Watch how Reggie just sits there and lets him lie and look stupid before finally coming in and correcting him.
Nigga, the dude that played Uncle Jerome, who pulled up in the Rolls Royce at the donut shop, is Stutterbox in real life. Stutterbox. They call him Stutterbox. Yeah. They changed everybody, motherfucking name in the movie.
Whenever Porky finds himself in a pickle, the first thing he does is scream Studdabox. Crazy part about that is there were only two people's names that were changed, Porky's and Studdabox. How convenient for Porky to perfectly call out the one other person whose name was changed. Tanisha Swan's name being changed from Tammy Hawkins isn't quite the same, because sometimes she actually goes by that name. That's the name Greg Kading used when he was speaking about her on Vlad TV.
And we'll get into Tanisha Swan a little bit later. Let's go.
But Studdabox has never, ever went by the name Percy Locke. And Porky has never went by the name Alonzo Zoe Scott.
But again, you don't see me doing nothing but driving the truck, nigga. Standing in the back of the truck telling them, and really they was straight stud magazines. That's what it was. Me and K-Slay had the magazine together. Like, the magazines, bro, what you looking for? I don't know. They changed some people's name and then they changed, and they didn't change some. But to Wack's point is he had nothing on that case.
Reggie is trying to help Porky get out of the trap that he himself set for him, but to no avail. Studdabox told Greg Kading that Porky had weapons in his home, which makes sense now, being that Porky has went online bragging about selling guns to Crips so they can kill each other.
Them same niggas you talking about when they went to war, guess what they had to come see to get their tools, bro? Think you all up. Whack, Crip niggas gotta come see me. Them same niggas you talking about when they went to war, guess what they had to come see to get their tools, bro? Think you all up. Whack, Crip niggas gotta come see me. You know what I'm saying? Because you know they go to war with each other, so I don't fuck them niggas kill each other all day long. You know what I'm saying? I be Crip on Crip shit. Be Crip on Crip shit.
He's even claimed to have supplied entire neighborhoods.
They know who they is.
So you giving Kiwe's Kiwe's gun?
Always, yeah, nigga. What his whole neighborhood I didn't get that with? What his whole neighborhood I didn't get that with? What his whole neighborhood I didn't get that with? And what that mean?
So when law enforcement showed up at his house with a search warrant, looking specifically for firearms, and actually found them, suddenly, Box's tip doesn't seem so far-fetched. What makes this even more damning is the timing. Porky was already in the middle of fighting a felon in possession case in Texas, one that was later dismissed in the interest of justice, a phrase often used when someone has offered their cooperation in return. But at the time of the raid, he was still vulnerable, and the feds were looking for exactly that: leverage. They wanted something solid to hold over his head, something they could use to get him to flip on Marion Knight. And finding illegal firearms in the home of a convicted felon fighting a gun charge, that's exactly the kind of pressure they needed. That's why he was arrested.
There were no arrests made other than Cash Jones.
It wasn't random, and it wasn't about living above his means, like Porky once claimed. It was a calculated move by the feds, designed to tighten the screws just enough to make him talk.
Let's get into that real quick. For those that's new, hit that like button because we finna cut. You know what I'm saying? We starting early. So for those that's new that don't know about the gun case and don't want to believe us about the gun case, well, we'll let y'all believe y'all daddy, because we know that the CS2 back supporters is over here, right? We know that not only did they tell him he was caught on wiretaps, which we could get to later, but WACK admits that he goes to the 64th floor of a building that only got 17 floors, right? And this is what he says. I mean, you ain't got to believe us when we said the feds was looking to catch him with some leverage to make him squill on Suge. We'll let him tell you what happened when they raided his house. Yeah, they raided his truck, but what they don't show in the movie, at the same time they raided his house. Let's go.
Well, we still got your client on two different situations. He like, is that right? We'll put him on the table. We walking out of here, right? So first situation, he said, well, we found firearms in the house. He's an ex-con convicted felon. He can't be around firearms, right? So I stopped my attorney. I said, well, you ain't found no firearms in my house. He said, yes, we did. These firearms and such and such. I said, well, I ain't never seen them firearms in my life. He said, well, they registered to your wife. I said, well, what they got to do with me?
Hey.
He said, well, that's your wife. I said, okay, well, what they got to do with me? He said, well, you live in a home. I said, you can't prove I live in that home. Right? What, you got some cars that's registered to a corporation? Matter of fact, I said, can I go in my back pocket? I pull my wallet out. I slide my wallet. What's this? That's where I live. I've been a resident of Oklahoma since 2003. I got 13 houses on my portfolio. Which one you gonna put me in various states?
So he plays on the intelligence of dummies and says that the feds get him. Now, mind y'all, this is what y'all don't know. When he goes to this 64th floor, this is not the day that they raided his house. No. This is Sunday. While people are in the church and all of that, doing a Sunday barbecues outside and all of that type of shit, hungover from the night before. No, this is Sunday. His house was raided on Friday. We're going to show y'all proof of that also. Let's get active in the chat, man. I'm finna show y'all proof of this right now. So that you guys can see that the date, and we got this straight from the head of the Joint Task Force, Detective Greg Caden. When I was doing my research, see, that kind of like what separates us from the rest of these so-called podcasters. We actually do research. We don't just copy and paste and take someone else's word, because most of these dudes ain't got no credibility in the streets. They never had a name, so they don't understand branding and branding yourself upon truth, right? Research, data, reliability. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm finna get to Greg Caden. Yael,
Yo.
let them know where they at real quick while I grab this stuff. It's taking all damn day.
Y'all gonna have to excuse me. I am handling the situation at work, but guess what? That's sitting one of the hottest lives on YouTube and on Clubhouse. Damu Kiwe Conversations.
Yeah, most definitely, man. You make sure you handle that. Appreciate that, though. That was just enough time for me to get down to old Greg Cadings. You know what I'm saying? We got to get this out. Hey, hit that like button, man. If y'all want me to cook. If y'all don't want me to cook, then I get it. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, why is it doing this? Let me make sure my Wi-Fi is on because it's taking all damn day to yeah. It says it's connected. Why is it taking all day to bring up the bottom when I'm surfing through the Facebook Messenger thing? Because that's where I hit them at. And I suppose some of y'all will have questions also. And hit that like button, man. Please hit that like button. Salute. Matter of fact, we could play the damn video while I find this. They found it. Didn't take that long. You know what I'm saying? Hit that like button, man. We got 250 people in the chat. Means that y'all really have been doing what I was asking y'all to do. And we going up in here with Greg Caden, who did block me. You know what I'm saying? And we can get into that also, but let's go down here in the chat real quick and see what they talking about. Boom. So let's get into this chat real quick. What they say. CEO Rye, what up? What up? She has some things. Been a busy day for her. Let me text her and check in. Lou from the Lou, what up? Frank M. Holla. All right, so let's get back into the content. I know that's what y'all waiting on. So we're going to start from the beginning. Well, we don't even got to start from the beginning because I fucked this nigga over, right? So much so he blocked me, got disrespectful. He lost his cool, you know what I'm saying? So here it go right here. The search warrant was served Friday, April 25th, 2008. Meeting with Cash Jones and attorney Sunday, April 27th, 2008. So if they served the search warrant on Friday, they raid his house, they raid his truck, right? They tricked him up out the house because remember, Stutterbox has told them that it's like Fort Knox up in there with weapons, right? So because it's like Fort Knox, they afraid of running up in there and then he feeling pressured and have a shootout with him. So they had a company call him to for a big shipment that they knew he wouldn't pass up the money, right? And this was to get him up out the house only. So once they got him out the house, in the movie, that's where they show they pull over and they search his truck also because they were looking for drugs, right? But they search his house and they find these weapons on Friday. But they're not telling him that they found these weapons until he goes to the FBI headquarters building on Sunday with his lawyer. Why are you going to go to the FBI building, period? Initially, he said he had to pick up files that were taken from his house during the search of his house. Next thing you know, he said he had to pick up property. Then he said he don't even remember why he went up there. But he made sure he took his lawyer, and this is 2 days after they raided his house. And he said that as soon as he got up there in the conference room with 6 to 8 FBI agents with flap jackets on, They hit the recorder and they told him they got him on wiretap, and they told him that they got him as an ex-felon in possession of guns, and he's already out fighting a case from Texas, ex-felon possession of guns. They had the leverage that they needed, and this is exactly what they was looking for. So there's the proof of the actual search warrant date, in case y'all think we just be pulling this up out our ass. No, it don't work like that. Pause, no Diddy. You know what I'm saying? But we getting back to the content. Let's go.
He found the tracker. I was a person of interest.
Yeah.
I wasn't a
because the person y'all should be mad at that about that on that, it should be Stutterbox, the guy you be up here defending. LA.
Reggie said I'm always defending Studdabox. When did I do that? It's clear that just like Dupree and Kading, Reggie hates Studdabox and protects Porky.
The guy you always defending is the one that lied on the man.
Tell LA send his number, and I'll call him with Stutterbox on the phone, and Stutterbox will tell him.
You guys imagine me giving the federal informant CS2 back my phone number so he can call me on his wiretap hotline with Stutterbox on three-way, just to tell me what I already know.
Y'all, though, boss, help me understand this, because me and you both know that whole case was your thing. What is Mark saying I had to do with the case, bro? Yo.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm
what is he saying I had to do with the case? Nigga, I was a target. My house got raided. My truck got
paperwork. Right, listen, in the paperwork, it said you tried to call dog, remember? In the paperwork, it said you tried to call dog, remember? In the paperwork, it said you tried to call dog, remember?
I tried to
and he
call
won't take your call. And I sent it to you. And he said
I talked to dog.
But he said he didn't talk to you. He wouldn't take your call.
I think, wait. And I think Mark tried to set the three-way up.
But they said he wouldn't talk. Yeah, and dog said he was cool. He didn't want to talk to you in the paperwork. In the paperwork.
So Box just told Porky that in the paperwork it says that he tried to call Del Dog, and Del Dog did not want to talk to him. When you read the paperwork, the person that Del Dog did not want to talk to was a guy named Back, who was labeled as confidential source number 2 in the paperwork. Not only that, but in the paperwork, it was Mark Stevens who was calling Dog asking him. Not only that, but in the paperwork it was Mark Stevens who was calling Dog asking him if it was okay to give back his number. So Stutterbox is telling Porky directly that he is CS2 back. Why do I need to give Porky my number to tell me anything when I just heard what Stutterbox told him directly?
Yeah. It's LA Scandalous. That's who it is. You know, they build their channel. They won't have a channel if they're not talking about me or you. Yeah. But I'm just addressing them, giving them the opportunity, to address their questions, because they'd never get us on their channel, But I try to get it, just to be transparent, because we don't give a fuck.
I only know.
While Reggie was saying all that, Porky was still trying to find a way to wiggle out of the box that Reggie put him in. Listen to his next failed attempt.
I knew the Poochie character.
Salute CEO.
The SHAQ, Biggie, Puffy characters. The Stutterbox character.
They changed Stutterbox, Teresa's. They didn't change.
Hey, this nigga looks so stupid. They changed everybody's name in the movie. Then he's spending all his time arguing. Reggie giving him a break. He trying to run it through his mind because he don't understand the trap that he got pulled in. Right? This is how slow this dummy is. Bozo. This is us. Hashtag thinkers, nigga. What? This nigga is saying, wait, hold on. They changed Box name. Yeah. But they didn't change Tanisha Swan name. They didn't change Reggie name. They didn't change SHAQ name, Diddy name, Biggie name. None of the players in the movie name were changed. Poochie name, nobody. The only 2 who name were changed was CS2 back, WACK100, and Stutterbox. And we know Stutterbox cooperated. So why y'all think they changed WACK name? Let's start that back over just a little bit.
Just to be transparent, because we don't give a fuck.
I only know.
While Reggie was saying all that, Porky was still trying to find a way to wiggle out of the box that Reggie put him in. Listen to his next failed attempt.
I knew the Poochie character. The SHAQ, Biggie, Puffy characters. The Studdabox character.
Look, hit that like.
They changed Studdabox, Teresa's. They didn't change my name in the motherfucker. They didn't change my name in the motherfucker.
Okay, let me just tell you this. Just notice. I won't say it again. There's only 2 people names will change. Reggie Wright name wouldn't change.
What about the cop dude who was?
Yeah, no, that wasn't the actual search warrant. That was the date of the search warrant. Udo on the go. Salute to Udo on the go. If y'all don't subscribe to him, make sure y'all go ahead and subscribe to him. Yeah, the search warrant was served on Friday, the 25th. Let me make sure that was the date. April 25th, 2008. The Friday, the search warrant was served, and then they met with Cash Jones at FBI headquarters with his lawyer on the 27th, 2 days later. And then we're going to go back into exactly what was said when he got up here to this 64th floor in a building that only has 17 floors. That means that while he was up there, he thinking it felt like it was 60 floors going up in that elevator. That nigga heart was in his stomach, nigga. He knew they had him. Nasty work, man. Let's get back to it.
Fucking with SHAQ's wife or something.
Oh,
Is that his real name?
Kevin Gaines, yeah, that's his real name.
Yeah.
Porky is over here searching for anybody else whose name might have been changed. I think he's finally beginning to understand that the movie he said he's watched over 1 million times was really the beginning of his demise. Now let's watch Porky go to his favorite deflect whenever the movie gets brought up.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they did it. All you gotta do is look at it. Nigga, the truck driver played no.
Yeah, everybody knew it was supposedly you, so they just trying to be.
But you know how they knew that, Reg? I told them.
Yeah.
I'm the one told them. They only know about the movie because I told them.
Got you.
I told them. You did tell us, you dumbass nigga. You didn't realize that they changed your name to protect your rat ass as they changed Stutterbox for his cooperation. But your dumbass you so insecure, you have to be heard, you have to be seen, you have to be in somebody's business. And because you were that insecure, you ran to the internet and you told us that you saved SHAQ and 7 Main Street Crips. We're going to get into all of that. Just stay tuned. Let's get into this content, though.
I told them, go look in the book. Now, in the book, they didn't change my fucking name.
There it is, folks. Like clockwork. Every time you bring up the movie, Porky immediately tries to pivot to the book. The same book where Greg Kading went out of his way to paint Porky as some kind of hero. The same guy who's openly admitted to selling guns to entire neighborhoods. The same guy who bragged about putting weapons in the hands of Crips so they could kill each other. Yet somehow, in Kading's book, Porky is portrayed like a model citizen. Go figure. But let's not let him off the hook that easy. Let's stay with the movie. Specifically, let's talk about that truck scene Porky claimed he told us about. You know the one.
Jim and I have been tracking our trucker. He's made several trips to San Diego.
Which is on the border with Mexico if geography isn't your strong suit.
The same Mexico our informant claimed Sugar's running kilos of cocaine through.
That's something. That's not enough.
Yeah.
Well, there's something else.
Every Tuesday at 2.
Yeah, Uda, that's who confirmed that was who called him. because Back calls Mark Stevens on the phone asking for Mark Del Dog phone number to expose to Del Dog that Box went sour and the phones was tapped. And so Mark calls Del Dog and tries to hook Back up with the phone call. Back, also known as confidential source number 2, also known as the WACK boy, right? But Del Dog was like, nah, I'm cool on that, brother. You know that's what they got trying to get niggas caught on the phone, and you know that's what they got going on, meaning Stutterbox and WACK. And WACK was riding with Box. You know what I'm saying? We'll get into all of that, but let's get back to this.
Zoe makes a stop off his route.
We checked the address, but it's a vacant lot.
Sound like a meetup spot.
That's what we were thinking. He could be dropping something off, picking something up. Hard to tell.
What's his location?
Look like Back. Stand on it, media! Ooh. Hit that like button, everybody just coming in. Everybody share this. Let's go up.
It's legal, officer. Just a little side hustle I got going.
Okay, what's your primary home?
Construction equipment. From here to San Diego. Y'all can take a few if you want.
You're good. Can't make this shit up. There's no way he's running drugs for Suge.
That's the same scene Porky told all of us about. But what he didn't say, and what the writers of Greg Kading's movie conveniently left out, was the fact that while Porky was being pulled over on the road, federal agents were simultaneously raiding his house. They had a search warrant specifically looking for weapons, and they found them. But in the movie, they make it look like it was...
Hey, who is that? That's Antoinette R. Bruce. Was the extra leverage the one piece he said was registered to his wife, or did they really find more and seal it? That's exactly what happened. They hold on. They found more than one gun and sealed it. That's why those police were saying that WACK was the only one that was arrested. You told Uda April, it was May 25th, 2008. No. It was April, bro. I'm 100% sure. April 25th, 2008, bro. Hold on, let me show the brother. Because he texted me, but he got the wrong date. I definitely got that right. April 25th, the warrant was served. And April 27th, WACK100 went up to the 64th floor. And that's coming straight from Greg Kading, who was the head of the Joint Task Force, a federalized officer who led the Joint Task Force on the Biggie Smalls murder investigation. So when they, mind you, they're saying that they want to get leverage on this nigga to find out who killed Biggie. They're trying to get leverage on Suge, somebody to throw Suge under the bus. Stutterbox, when he talks to them, six them on WACK. Remember he said he was a victim? Box told on him? Well, that's the same thing CS2 Back said in the paperwork. You know what I'm saying? That Box went sour. You know what I'm saying? So let's get back to the content, though. Hit that like button, man. We cooking.
They didn't find any drugs, so they just let him go on his way. Clean and simple. But that's not the truth. It's a polished-up version of events designed to make him look like he walked away unscathed, untouched. And this is exactly why Stutterbox said the entire movie was a lie. Because the real story, the one left out of the script, is that Porky was a felon already fighting a gun case in Texas, and the raid on his home turned up more illegal firearms. That's not something they could just sweep under the rug, unless, of course, someone had a reason to protect him. So when you rewatch that scene, don't just focus on what they showed you. Pay attention to what they didn't. That's where the truth is hiding.
Okay. You go pull the book up, you go to the murder rap, you go to the chapter Studdabox, you see my pictures of my 30th birthday party, you see my name, real name, you see Stutterbox real name, where they saying Studdabox put them on me. They followed me for 9 months, only to find that I run a string of small businesses that was doing nothing illegal.
Why do you always talk about the book? Why don't you talk about I'm bringing the paperwork to clear all this shit up? I mean, that would be the most rational thing, right? Niggas keep saying I'm a rat. Y'all niggas pushing this. In fact, I'm suing World Star Hip Hop. I'm finna bring the work, nigga. I'm finna get whatever I said on the 64th floor of the FBI headquarters and publish it and clear my name up. Because Big U's lying on me. Deuce Sims lying on me. Mark Stevens lying on me. SHAQ lying on me. And Stutterbox lying on me. Nigga, you always talking about you got somebody else's work, but your bitch ass still ain't went and got your work, nigga. Let's talk about that. A movie? Go look at a movie? You bitch ass, rat ass nigga? What the fuck? Nigga, I thought you knew how to politic, nigga. Documentation defeats speculation, nigga. Anywhere, anytime. Get your work, nigga. You brought the police on your motherfucking to Clubhouse, to your room. Tell him we don't believe police in the streets, nigga. We don't believe deputized federal agents and ex-crooked police officers. Tell them we need the documentation to clarify that whatever you said wasn't providing information on anyone else. Now, I'm not saying you couldn't talk to him and pled guilty and said what you said about what you did. But we need to validate that because you weren't supposed to say nothing to him, nigga. So the fact that you admit that you did, the fact that all of this evidence leans towards you providing information and these police trying to conceal it, and you got somebody at the top of the investigation, never charged. Hey, shout out to Young and Hefe. Shout out to the Main Street Crips. Even the ones that get on here talking about shit they had nothing to do with or something that they don't know about. Young and Hefe, unless you was on that 64th floor when it's only 17 buildings, you can't validate or vouch for what the fuck that nigga said. And no other nigga on that case can validate and vouch for what that nigga said unless they was in that room, in the upper conference room with that nigga. Unless he showed you the paperwork or played the audio of his conversation with the feds up there, nigga. Let's talk about that real quick. You niggas fuck y'all name up in the streets vouching for what you think you know, nigga. Based on what you heard. No, my nigga, that's not how this works. Wait, you went and talked to the feds 2 days after they raided your house and they found guns in your house? Nigga, I said, don't believe me. You can listen, you can hear CS Too Bad. He said, let's go over here real quick. He said that they found these burners in his motherfucking house. Burners, plural. But then he lied about that because previously he said that and brought the deputized Fed to Clubhouse to say that it was one gun, right? An old worn out gun that was in his wife's dad gun or something. And we gonna get to that. Matter of fact, let's get to all of that before we even finish watching the thing. We gonna get to all of that right now. Let's go, man. Y'all got a nigga sweating. My motherfucking wisdom teeth hurt, but that's all right. I'm cooking for y'all. Hit that like button, man. Let's go. We still got your client on two different situations. Let's go.
Dude says, well, we still got your client on two different situations. He like, is that right? We'll put him on the table. We walking out of here, right? So first situation, he said, well, we found firearms in the house. He's an ex-con convicted felon.
Firearms, plural, with an S. Now pay attention to how he talks about these firearms in the multiplicity, multiple. Let's go.
He can't be around firearms, right? So I stopped my attorney. I said, well, you ain't found no firearms in my house. He said, yes, we did. These firearms and such and such. I said, well, I ain't never seen them firearms.
These firearms. No, I ain't never seen those firearms. Multiple firearms. So this is what happens when he gets to the upper conference room, right? They tell him that they got him on wiretaps and they got him on guns. We still got your client on two things. One was the gun. The other one was a wiretap. This is 2 days after they raided his house. Well, if they raided your house and they had you on these and they stopped you in your truck, then that means you was arrested when they caught you in that truck. That's a fact, nigga.
Hey, you didn't get me in no bruck. You got me with, hey, they thought they had me, but what they had was me spinning the narrative.
No. You say you talked to dog, and now we know that you was lying. Mark,
nah. I talked to the law.
No, I'm quite sure you did talk to the law, but you didn't talk to dog. So let's get into this. Now, when you get to the 64th floor, they told you they got you on guns and a wiretap.
Second thing they had against me, they press play, wiretap. This is why I know when I hear certain wiretaps was
they press play, wiretap. When they press play, that means they're recording. This nigga is in a conference room at the FBI headquarters speaking with the FBI, meaning he done waived his Miranda rights. That means that he's having a conversation with the FBI with his lawyer present. This is what you call debriefing. Let's go.
Conspiracy, how they get you. They got me on the phone. Said, yeah. All right, what you got? Said, we got a special move. Where's it coming from? Down by National City, down by Tijuana, Mexico. Yeah. All right. It's gonna be kind of heavy, but it'll pay you 23,000 one way. Where's it going? Seattle area, Seattle, Bellevue, Tacoma, multiple stops. Get it to them before they close. And I was you straight. All right, no problem. I'll be down there to get it.
You chilling with the answers?
So they turned off the thing. They like, well, our confidential informant said you moving drugs for Suge Knight. I said, moving drugs for Suge Knight.
Now you're on the 64th floor, and they're telling you that a Fed is informant is telling them that you're working for Suge Knight because of a wiretap. Because of a wiretap and a informant, they're telling you they got you on wiretaps and that you're moving drugs for Suge. This is the leverage that they got. the guns, plural, and the wiretap that you're moving drugs. And why are they talking about Suge Knight to you? You're supposed to be like, I'm not in here to talk about nobody else. Don't mix my name up with nothing else. If we here to talk about what I did, we could talk about that. If not, we out of here. Then you say they told you that Stutterbox was the informant. So that's two people that they talked to you about on the 64th floor. Now, how the fuck a nigga gonna come on YouTube and say, I know for a fact that WACK didn't tell on the Main Street Mafia Crip case? How do you know for a fact? How do you know for a fact? Were you up there? Were you up in the upper conference room when CS2 Back was doing what he was doing up there? No. Now, remember, he said multiple guns. Let's go back to when he forgets all his lies. Let's go back to when he tried to lie to us and brought Greg Cadence, and they were talking about it was only one gun. It was only one, singular, right? I hope y'all learned that in elementary, the difference between plural and singular.
And come to find out, I'm listening to these bozos. They said they kicked in my door and found 6 guns. The police officer said right here on the floor, did you find anything in my house? Yeah, we found 1 gun. That was your wife's.
There you go, guys. Right.
So we're the bozos, and we've been consistent, and we've been exposed that it was more than 1 gun, because once he caught the case, he told Big U that it was more than 1 gun, right? So now when the Fed comes on, we already know that it was more than 1 gun, right? So go figure. Let's get back to the content, though. Shout out my boy Scandalous Los Angeles TV. Y'all hit that like in the chat. We got 340 people in the chat. Let's get to it, man. Cook them, Scandalous.
Chapter Stutterbox, you'll see my real name, my real face, pictures, Stutterbox name, Suge name, pictures of me and Suge. But see, they're not going to go do that. You know why? Because it debunks the bullshit they say.
Exactly.
No arrests made other than Cash Jones.
So your Texas gun case was dismissed by an interest of justice.
So this is what you got to do, right?
Not from a bad search. Why do you lie about that is what he want to know. So go ahead.
What do you mean? Okay, but see, I think what they missing, Reg, was this. I only filed our motion. We stood on our motion. See, just because you strike a motion down, don't mean you walk away from the motion.
Because I see you spent about $30,000, $40,000 fighting this case. I remember you showed me something like that.
390.
Did you catch that? Porky has been claiming he paid $390,000 for his Texas gun case. But Reggie just called him out, saying it was actually only $30,000. To top it off, Reggie reminded him that he'd already shown him the documentation to prove it.
Okay.
Now, hold on. I'm about to fuck you up, Reg.
Okay.
I had 2 attorneys.
Okay.
I had my point attorney in Cali, which you know who this is, but I never told you it was, because I didn't trust Texas. So I went to my attorney in Cali, and he said, I'm a Jewish guy to Beverly Hills. They'll hang me.
They're not out there.
So what he did was found the top attorney in that area.
Okay.
My attorney here wrote everything. You know who that was, Reggie?
Who?
Jeffrey Brody.
Yeah, Brody. Yeah, I heard you talk about Brody.
You know
before.
Jeff, right? Jeffrey Brody was my attorney here. So he wrote up everything and he was sent it there. And then he was a top attorney in that area. So that was like our face. But I trusted it because everything he was doing was by Brody's direction. So, so the whole time all we had was one defense, illegal search procedures in the trunk.
Everything Porky is saying is for absolutely nothing. His case was dismissed in the interest of justice, not for illegal search and seizure. Period. We already spoke to the Wheeler County Court Clerk, Debbie Does Dallas McLaughlin, and she let us know exactly what dismissed in the interest of justice entails.
Which was denied.
No, he was dismissed.
Okay. Oh, you're talking about in 2011 or 2010, right?
Yes, 2011, yes.
Let's make sure we highlight what we've learned in our first two segments thus far. First, we found out that Porky was lying when he accused Deuce of adding the word back to the paperwork. Then we found out Porky was lying when he said there was no CS2 back section in the paperwork.
And he finna break this down, but real quick, Kimbo Greedy said Box went bad, but the difference between him and Trash Jones is Box tells the truth about his situation. Trash Jones can't tell the truth because he's still telling and employed by the FBI. Not necessarily. He tell half truths, right? And before we allowed him on the platform, we got him to admit that he had cooperated, so we didn't confuse our audience. They would know that he had cooperated. He admit that he cooperated as far as as the victim who went into the police station and claimed that SHAQ and Mark Stevens ordered Del Dog or paid Del Dog and arranged for Del Dog to get the Main Street Crips to kidnap him from the Pink Dot. And we'll get into that documentary also, which shows that part of the story. The dudes that were charged for beating, kidnapping, and robbing Stutterbox, those are the dudes at the bottom of the pyramid. They don't know what's going on up there. They take orders. So anybody that Young and Hefe or any of them talk to, obviously they know that it was something going on. They know they got the call, but they don't know everything that's allegedly went down. I talked to the guy who allegedly told Del Dog and them that WACK100 and Studdabox came to him and Shaquille O'Neal claiming that they had a sex tape of Shaq fucking a woman that wasn't his wife. TMZ would pay a lot of money from that. 2 weeks after Cash Jones delivered that message, that's when the Main Streets kidnapped Stutterbox, took him to South Central where he was beaten, robbed, and then that's when he went into the thing. But this is where Stutterbox lies. He telling us as if that's when he first started informing and working with the police. But I could play the audio from Greg Caden's book, the one that WACK100 is talking about, where Greg Caden slipped up and admitted that as soon as they released him, he didn't go straight into the police station. He first called Greg Caden's partner, Darren Dupree, and told Darren Dupree what had happened, and Darren Dupree advised him to go to the nearest local police station and file the report of what happened, which means Stutterbox was already in contact with Darren Dupree, and Stutterbox was already working. So he's not fully truthful, but salute to him for at least being the man on part of that and telling us and giving us those truths. He definitely was able to provide truths about what happened to us. Let's go.
And that Deuce added that to the paperwork also. After that, Porky lied again and said the paperwork said CS Tubac was a low-level drug dealer. That's 3 lies, Porky told us, all surrounding the same paperwork. Here we are today, and we hear Porky lying about his case being dismissed due to an illegal search and seizure. And to add insult to injury, Porky also lied when he said he spent $390,000 to beat the case.
Right? I fought that case for 6 years. Now, Reggie, a lot of these dudes who really ain't fought cases and really been in this system, if you Google the definition of Texas law, when dismissed in the interest of justice, it tells you only one person could exercise this.
Yeah.
The judge.
The judge.
Every time Porky tells us to do something, we do it. And every time it proves him wrong. In Texas, a case involving an informant can be dismissed in the interest of justice by a judge or magistrate, either on their own motion or upon the application of the prosecutor, if they believe it serves the broader goals of justice, according to the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure. In a felon in possession of a firearm case in Texas, a judge could consider the interest of justice in sentencing, potentially leading to a lighter sentence or dismissal, especially if the defendant is an informant who provided valuable information.
Yeah.
Okay, so Reggie, although the judge struck down the first motion, it didn't stop Brody from refouling, right? Challenging their strike and steadily shoving it down their throat. So you know what
So if your lawyer refiled a motion and shoved it down their throat, why is there no record of this, WACK100? Why are you lying about another case? Why? Why? You think that your lawyer filed another motion up under him and the case was dismissed, but we have all of the paperwork. And y'all don't even understand how extensive it is what I've got. Shout out Debbie McLaughlin, man. We finna go to Debbie. She's the clerk of the court down in Wheeler, Texas. And we finna show y'all right now exactly how much stuff she sent. Because why don't we have that? Was it filed under seal, nigga? Is that what you telling us? Nigga, why isn't that public record, nigga? If this did happen, which you're lying, these is different things. Let's blow these up. These is all different things. So the first one, brief in motion to defendant's motion to suppress. Order on defendant's motion to suppress. Brief in support of defendant's motion to suppress. The indictment for the case. This is the order dismissing the case. And this is the motion to dismiss the case. We got all of this from old Debbie McLaughlin, but we didn't get this other motion that this nigga's talking about that he had got. This is nasty work. Your lawyer filed another motion, but we can't get it. You want to know why? Because that motion was probably filed under seal. And that's what ended up getting the case dismissed in the interest of justice, nigga. Nasty work. Hit that like button, share, hashtag interest of justice. In the chat, hashtag who killed Poochie. I mean, who killed Biggie? Hashtag,
hey, Lamonte, hey, I got to work on Debbie. 2 minutes, I'll be back.
All right.
the judge did, the judge ain't stupid. If you got an arrested officer, right? Let's say he got 10 arrests where people been sent to the penitentiary, right? And the judge know that what he's looking at, that if it gets to a court higher than him, it'll fuck around and be granted. Because the thing is, how did you get to the trunk? Right?
Yeah, legal search. Yeah.
Nobody's on no parole, probation.
Yeah.
The fucking drug dog never.
Yeah, you don't smell weed or no alcohol. There's no reason.
Dumbass bozo. I ain't never disrespected you. But me and Box, and I talked to Box when he calls me. Box called me this morning. He said, what is Aunt Hefe bozo ass talking about? Talking about you got my Rolls Royce shot up. Whack, my Rolls Royce was already shot up and gone before I even start fucking with you. But these is a lot of niggas who wasn't around. They play like they this, they play like they that. But this 2025, we talked about 20, 25 years ago when shit's going on, right? So let's get back to Texas. So you know what the judge did? He knows this nigga done sat here 6 years. He ain't ran out of money. Most of the times niggas run out of money. I'm on parole, bail where I got to call in every Thursday. So the judge comes in and says, I'm going to dismiss this in the interest of justice, right? My file is open. If you Google Texas interest of justice, Reg, you should have our guy Google it. The guy that works with you. Google, John, Google the definition of a dismissal under Texas law interest of justice. And it's going to tell you when the judge may deem that the evidence is a little shabby or this or that, the judge can step in and say, we're just going to let the whole case go.
In a felon in possession of a firearm case in Texas, a judge could consider the interest of justice in sentencing, potentially leading to a lighter sentence or dismissal, especially if the defendant is an informant who provided valuable information.
Let's go.
Yeah, and the most important thing, y'all got to understand, WACK allegedly went out there because his brother had just got killed the day before. So, and the guy that allegedly did this was found now guilty. If WACK was working with him, and this is me just talking, I never said this to WACK before. If WACK was working with him like these people want to try to indicate he was doing, trust me, that nigga would have got found guilty.
Reggie knows how to put you on the hot seat and throw you a bone to avoid detection.
Well, first of all, I was going out there to pick my mother up.
Okay.
But she don't like to fly. Second of all, Aunt Hefe talking about 2 California niggas on the freeway. Hey, dummy, I'm 40 miles from Oklahoma border. My license is Oklahoma.
Oh, in Oklahoma at the time.
That wasn't a red flag, stupid.
You know, when we got onto him, one of the reasons that we kind of believed Stutterbox is that Cash was facing a pretty serious gun case out of a pretty serious gun case out of, I think it was out of Texas or Oklahoma. So his brother had gotten killed. It looked like he was going back out there to kind of retaliate for the murder of his brother. I think his name was Zachary or something like that. So when we're hearing about him and we're like, shit, we can find this guy. He's got charges pending where he's got these fucking, assault rifles and he's got an Oklahoma driver's license and all this. We're like, oh, okay, maybe, this guy could be a serious player because of that. And so then when we came up empty-handed, and I don't know whatever happened to his Texas case, to be honest with you. They don't take guns so seriously out there.
Like, I don't know where you come from. You just be talking, but you sound dumb as a motherfucker. And you would never do a one-on-one like this with me because I'll make you look dumb as fuck. This nigga saying, watch this. Now, this is what's crazy. I gave up the Main Street to beat the Texas case.
Well, one thing we know is that some kind of way Porky mysteriously ended up moving across the street from Studdabox, who just so happened to be a suspect in the Biggie Smalls murder. Porky's name ended up all in Studdabox's paperwork, as Cash Jones and as C.S. Tubac. The paperwork said C.S. Tubac had given accurate and historical information regarding the Main Street Mafia Crips organization. All of this.
So now, if the paperwork says that confidential source Tubac is CS2 on that Main Street Mafia case gave up reliable historical information on the Main Street Mafia Crips, how can anyone say that CS2 Back didn't snitch on the Main Street Mafia Crips? You can't say that unless you're compromised. Now, do you believe that he's CS2 Back? Maybe you ain't got enough information, but before you take that position and put your credibility on the line, you're supposed to already do your due diligence. This is how we politic. This shit ain't new. But because niggas believe niggas got a bag, these niggas really struggling more than you is. These niggas ain't got it like that. You know what's in this nigga's account. Because a nigga can get you on no jumper or academic? Nah, bro. Death before dishonor. Loyalty over royalty. I'm a representation of my clique, my seta. We ain't doing it like that. And I'm quite sure it's some that do it like that. Behind closed doors. This front and center. It's a nasty look, bro. Let's go.
This came after Porky caught his gun case. But Stutterbox said his work against the Main Streets wasn't enough. And because of that, he said Porky had to give them something clean. So he had to give up Poochie from Compton, saying that Poochie killed Biggie for Marion Knight. This is the amount of work Porky was doing before he ever got next to Big U.
Now this is where he's an idiot at. We all know, and Studdabox will tell you, he's the one brought the case on his homies, right?
Scandalous went in the police station at 3 a.m. in the morning and called and woke up somebody that I deal with from the house at 77th Division. So he need to stop there, all beat up.
We're going to get off box.
Okay.
Here's the common sense shit. In order for them, if I'm working two entities, right? In order for me to get Texas dropped based upon the Main Streets, right? That means the Main Streets got to get convicted, right? The Main Streets beat their case, dummy.
Yeah.
So what the fuck?
No, it doesn't mean that. Watch this. If a confidential source, see, he can run that game on y'all. If a confidential source, remember, a source isn't necessarily a full informant. A full informant would have to testify. A 137 sources be the type that would just say, hey, look, man, Yael just came up out of that bank. He got guns. I mean, he's going up in that bank. He got guns on him, and they bust him before he go rob the bank, right? It leads to an arrest. They know as a 137, he would never testify, but it led to an arrest with the gun thing and charges filed. So if a confidential source provides intel to the feds, does he qualify for time reduction on time reduction or immunity if it leads to arrest? Boom. Let's get to that. As long as it got an arrest, let's stop this. Listening to his reasoning. We got 400 people in the chat. If you just came in, make sure y'all hit the like button, share, tell a friend. We cooking right now. We cooking Porky the Pig Paru. You know what I'm saying? We're cooking Porky the Pig Paru. So he's saying, yes, providing intel to the feds as a confidential source can potentially lead to time reduction or even immunity from prosecution, depending on the circumstances and the extent of cooperation. Law enforcement agencies often offer leniency in exchange for information that helps them solve cases and make arrests. Last time I checked, those 7 Main Street Crips were arrested. That's sufficient enough for a confidential source to get leniency, time reduction, even immunity, depending on their cooperation. So he worked a little something off. So his reasoning isn't reasonable. You can run that to these squares who don't understand the game, player. You caught up. It didn't work. Let's go.
What I've done for the Main Street and the law to say, I'm going to give you this, drop this. All the Main Street case got dismissed.
Case
so
got
I'm
dropped.
saying I gave them the Main Street for Texas when the Main Streets all beat their case.
Right.
Grace Katie, I get 4 years in the face. I get Grace Katie sent me to prison.
Right.
He got on the stand and sent me to prison. Because after the niggas did what they did and WACK knew about what he did, they couldn't take them to jail because they would have had to involve WACK. They would have had to involve WACK. They would have had to involve WACK.
Porky keeps throwing Stutterbox's name around, as if we don't remember what Box already laid out for us. Box made it clear that for Del Dog to be convicted, Greg Kading would have had to implicate Porky, which would have exposed him as an informant. The paperwork indicated that CS2 Back refused to testify due to fears for both his own life and his family's safety. Because of that, Greg Kading took the stand and revealed that Studdabox had lied under oath when he denied ever working as an informant. This was the key to setting Del Dog and the Main Streets free. Kading proved that Studdabox had perjured himself, and because of that, the Main Streets weren't convicted. Exposing Porky's role would have forced the authorities to reveal the intel he provided. Since they couldn't use Porky's intel to secure a conviction, Porky was now forced to offer Greg Kading something solid that could actually be used. According to Studdabox, Porky then backed up Kading's theory that Poochie was the one who killed Biggie Smalls, allegedly under the orders of Marion Knight. This was the very reason they started following Porky in the first place, in hopes that he would flip on SHAQ.
So WACK had to give him something clean. WACK gave him Poochie from Compton.
Poochie for Fruitown, Paru.
He the one killed Poochie. No, Poochie killed Biggie.
Right.
For sure. And he WACK knew the inside information. He gave it to Greg Kading. Greg Kading closed his book and made WACK like a hero. Greg Kading.
Now, I know a lot of y'all might not believe that, but I got some evidence that leads us to believe that Studdabox is not lying at all. That WACK100 not only provided information in the investigation of attempted extortion of Shaquille O'Neal and Mark Stevens, in intel on Stutterbox being kidnapped, etc. Remember, he was riding with Box. So we're going to go back to Facebook Messenger to Greg Kading, not that one. Let's go to the other one. Boom. We're going to go back to Facebook Messenger with Greg Kading because I want y'all to be able to see how this all started. So check this out. So, let me see if y'all can see this. Oh, y'all can't. Boom. Hit that like button. We cooking. We cooking. We cooking. So, Greg Kading on Facebook Messenger. This is me. I'm trying to locate the investigative report on your interview of Cash Jones. This is on the 64th floor, 17th floor, if we believe it was the top one. But whatever floor he went to go talk to the FBI. I'm trying to locate the investigative report on your interview of Cash Jones and the audio or video recording thereof. How can I obtain that? This was in 2023, July. He said, I don't think it would be available, Lamonte. I said, well, I don't think they would destroy evidence of ongoing investigation. He waived his Miranda right, so there has to be documentation of that. And any statement pertaining to the investigation, pertinent or non-pertinent, will not be destroyed. Greg Kading says, I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm saying it will be hard to get your hands on it. So I'm asking for the videotape, audio recording, or the investigative report that the police make summarizing information that was obtained while talking to WACK100 in the FBI headquarters. And he confirms it does exist. He talked to them peoples. But I'm saying it would be hard to get your hands on it. I said, well, as a citizen, don't I have a right to access such public records? He says, not necessarily. I said, the only way that we the people wouldn't have a right to access public records is if those records contain confidential information. Even then, I should be able to get a redacted version. Greg Caden says, or if it's related to an open homicide case. Let's do that again. I said that the only way we couldn't get that is if it's confidential information. And even then, I should be able to get a redacted version of that confidential information and the statement that WACK100 gave. And he said, no, not if it's related to an open homicide case. What homicide case y'all think that WACK100 talked about? Let's get that in the chat. We finna get into the chat real quick. I want y'all to be a little interactive. Let's see what Stutterbox told us about a homicide case that WACK talked about and provided information on. Let's go. Kind of consistent, right? Let's hear it again.
In hopes that he would flip on Suge.
So WACK had to give him something clean. WACK gave him Poochie from Compton.
Poochie for Fruitown, Paru.
He the one killed Poochie. No, Poochie killed Biggie.
Right.
For sure. And WACK knew the inside information. He gave it to Greg Cady. Greg Cady closed his book and made WACK look like a hero. Greg Cady closed his book and made WACK look like a hero.
Now it should be clear why Porky is always trying to talk about Greg Kading's book. Whenever you bring up the fact that Kading changed both his and Box's names in his movie, it doesn't take long before Porky interrupts to steer the conversation back to Kading's book. He does this all the time.
Put me in jail because don't know. Take my dog in jail because it's no WACK under the bus.
Right.
So WACK told Greg Cady to close his book. Poochie from Paru killed Biggie. And he closed the book and made WACK like a hero.
And is that why he said
he owed him a favor.
Exactly.
Y'all don't run it in the street. The feds run this shit. Law enforcement run this shit.
Wow. That's crazy. But look, we're going to get into a little bit more about the Biggie stuff at the end of this. Remind me, Yael, when we finish this, to go back into the upper conference room and into the Biggie murder investigation and who corroborated WACK100's information later down the line. Let's go. We only got about 30 minutes left.
Man, I remember you, man. Reggie Wright and WACK100, can you please explain to the goofballs the Dale Dog case was a state case, not federal? Correct.
Dale Dog was a state case involving all main streets.
The reason Porky emphasizes all main streets the way he just did is because he's trying to distance himself from the speculation. Porky wants people to believe that only main streets were involved in this case. And by making it clear that he wasn't directly from Main Street, he's attempting to convince people that he couldn't have been involved. A typical tactic of Porky's used to deflect attention and create a narrative that separates him from any direct ties.
But this is what I want y'all to know. We got Ray J's interview. Is Ray J from Main Street? No. We got DJ K-Slay's interview. Is he from Main Street? No. We got Shaq's interview. Is he from Main Street? No. And we got Mark Stevens' interview. Is he from Main Street? No. So this investigation and the people they talk to aren't necessarily Main Street Crips. The Main Street Crips are the ones who allegedly kidnapped and or robbed and beat, assaulted Robert Ross, aka Stutterbox. But what it was all about and getting an understanding about what this whole crime was allegedly about stems from the Ray J deal with Koch Records and Deja 34. So that's why WACK100 wasn't just a friend of Stutterbox and had nothing to do with the Main Street Crips. No, you are an employee to Ray J. You were his security guard. You were an employee of Deja 34, paid by Mark Stevens. So him trying to distance himself and make it seem like it's just a Main Street investigation, the Main Streets were outsourced to handle the business, bro. Allegedly. That's it. To put the work in after WACK and Stutterbox tried to allegedly extort Shaquille O'Neal and Money Mark Stevens. Let's go.
Yes. Right? Some other shit they threw me in that I was never arrested, never had nothing to do with. One Main Street took the stand on 7 or 8 Main Streets. All you got to do is go pull the work up. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, it was a state case held in CCB court. Well, I'm going to keep it real. Dude, when it took the stand in front of the whole LA, the whole court with streetmen and Muslims, dude walked in that motherfucker, took the stand in front of everybody for about 4 or 5 months and walked out and jumped in his Rolls Royce and drove off. Yeah. It's real. Yeah. I remember Captain Will. You know Captain Will, FOI. Yeah. Brother Will. Yeah. Brother Will.
No, we didn't interview K. Slay. The police investigating the crime, the sheriffs interviewed K. Slay, interviewed Mark Stevens, interviewed SHAQ. In the locker room, they interviewed SHAQ in the locker room at USC. You know what I'm saying? So let's go.
Called me and was like, yo, Wax, can you talk to him? I said, bro, talk to him about what? He's fully aware of what he's doing. He's doing it in front of y'all. Yeah. What you want me to tell you? Could you explain his relationship? I know the answer to this, but a lot of people get him mixed up and calls him Farrakhan's nephew. Could you explain their relationship? Salute. That is Farrakhan's nephew. That's not a lie. That's by the sister, right? I'm saying I know that. I'm just want you. No, his
yeah, that was Stutterbox, allegedly.
His dad's his father's sister. Yeah, something about a sister I know. Yes, yeah. Yeah, his father's sister is Farrakhan's wife. That's not a lie. That's true. Scandalous Los Angeles. So you asking me to he told you, I'll get you and your boyfriend on the phone. You know who I call your boyfriend. And we'll call him. And he said he'll get you on the phone with Mark Stevens.
You got to give Reggie an E for effort, because he sure acts like he's protecting Porky. Reggie and Porky both know we don't have to get on the phone with Mark Stevens or Studdabox. We have all heard both of their testimonies, and both of them said Porky was CS2 back. I want you guys to listen close to what Porky says next, because he completely switches the narrative that he was running before, which is more proof that he is indeed CS2 back.
Now, here Mark Stevens. This is the thing, right? Yeah. This is the thing. If you gonna read the real paperwork, not the fake shit dude made. He made a fake document where he started putting my real name in it. He made a fake document where he started putting my real name in it. He made a fake document where he started putting my real name in it. If you read it, it says CS2 back. If you read it, it says CS2 back.
Do you guys understand what just happened? Porky just told me that I need to go read the real paperwork. not the fake one that Deuce allegedly made. Porky claimed that Deuce created some fake paperwork and put his real name, Cash Jones, in it. But here's where it gets interesting. Porky then starts telling me what the real paperwork says. He says, it says CS Tubac. This is Porky, in front of the entire world, admitting that the CS Tubac paperwork is authentic, just like Greg Kading said it was. But that's not even the funny part. The real kicker is that after we released the audio of Greg Kading saying Porky was back, Porky accused Deuce of making fake paperwork. However, when he said this, he didn't mention Deuce putting his real name in it. Instead, he claimed Deuce created fake paperwork and just added back to it.
He's winning credit some fake work and add some back shit. You don't see that, use a bozo. I'm done talking about this shit. He's winning credit some fake work and add some back shit. You don't see that, use a bozo. I'm done talking about this shit.
But this is what's retarded. If you gonna add something, why wouldn't you just put my real name? If you gonna add some shit and you want to make it believable, just put my real name. Why the fuck would you put something in there that say it sounds like your real name? Like, this is crazy. Dude said, actually, we got the clip. He said, I went and pulled the paperwork myself. Same docket number right here. There is no fucking clause in there with the CS2 back mention. You added that to your paperwork.
Now, fast forward to today. Porky is openly admitting that the real, authentic paperwork actually says CS2 back, which directly contradicts his earlier claims that Deuce added back to it. So now, on Reggie's panel, Porky has completely changed his story, essentially repackaging his lie, which only helps to expose him even further. The contradictions are piling up, and it's becoming clear that Porky can't keep his story straight.
If you read it, it says CS2 back is a low-level drug dealer who's in fear that if found out, his family will be harmed by the main streets. See, these are the things they leave out about this CS2 back dude, right? He's winning credit some fake work and add some back shit. Read it, it says CS2 back is a low-level drug dealer who's in fear that if found out, his family will be harmed by the main streets. See, these are the things they leave out about this CS2 back dude, right?
There is no fucking clause in there with the CS2 back mention. You added that to your paperwork.
I really hope you guys can see what's going on here. If you didn't believe Porky was CS2 back before, I hope you believe it now. Initially, Porky claimed that there was no clause in the paperwork mentioning CS2 back, and that Deuce was the one who added that detail. But now, Porky is contradicting himself, saying that the CS2 back paperwork is legit, and that it clearly states CS2 back was a low-level drug dealer. This should be enough to prove to the entire world that the CS2 back paperwork is real, and that Porky the Pyru is, in fact, CS2 back. Porky even told me directly to go read the paperwork, and I'd see that it says CS2 back was a low-level drug dealer. Now I'm just going to tell you all right now. The paperwork does not say that. Porky is lying again. He's a master at spinning stories, but the truth is clear. He's caught in his own web of lies.
I ain't never had a dope case in my life. Yeah. If I was a dope dealer, best believe I wouldn't have been a low-level dope dealer. And best believe I don't have no family that I got to worry about that live in the main streets. I'm not from Main Street. My neighborhood is probably about 18 miles from Main Street. 18 to 20 good miles. So if you go read it, but again, you probably a dude from Scandinavia or something who don't understand what you reading. You got to tell yourself, well, it gives a description of who this dude is and what he does in the streets. Does it fit my description?
Yeah.
Porky knows I'm not from Scandinavia. If I was, his empty spin attempts might actually work. So what I do next is I send Porky a $10,000 challenge, asking him to provide proof before all of Reggie's viewers that the paperwork said CS2 Back was a low-level drug dealer. You see, these are the uninterrupted lies Porky has been on Clubhouse telling for years. This is the reason he blocked Deuce on Clubhouse. Porky knows the kind of holes Deuce would poke through his lies. So he avoids him like the bubonic plague.
All right, Scandalous, this is your Reggie. Tell him I challenge him to $10,000 right now. You have to show it and put it in escrow. Everybody always talking about money, but you put it in escrow. And he said, I'll challenge right now on this live show us where is a CS2 was a low-level drug dealer. Ask him that, Reggie. Okay.
Bro, here's what he got to do, bro. Because the other Deuce M's created a whole fake document where all of a sudden it said Cash Jones. Like, it was crazy.
Okay.
But this is what's retarded. If you gonna add something, why wouldn't you just put my real name?
That's why you said the real one when you said it.
All you got to do is go pull it up under Ladell Rowles. That's Dale Dog name.
Okay.
Pull that document up under that paperwork, then read it. Fuck with this bullshit they got. You go pull up Ladell Rowles, right? And then read it.
We gonna get into some of these what you call it. I just read one page of the paperwork. I'm gonna read 2 more pages because Scandalous challenged them, and Reggie read it. $10,000
break it down right here.
That WACK100 can't go through the paperwork.
That's why he didn't want to
show
take the
him
challenge.
where it says
$10,000.
that CS2 Back was
He
a
talking that
low-level
shit out here. Hold on.
drug dealer and a Main Street Crips.
Hold on, bro. Niggas is out here, nigga, talking that talk, nigga, to Reggie Wrong and CS2 Back. $10,000 bet, nigga, that the paperwork don't say that CS2 Back was a low-level drug dealer, nigga. That's the paperwork don't say CS2 Back was a Main Street Crip, nigga. Niggas wouldn't bet. Oh, you gotta put it in what you call it. Niggas out here misleading niggas because niggas don't know how to read word. And niggas is going for it. That's why he blocked me on Clubhouse. Because I was on that nigga helmet like Green Bay Packer football numbers, nigga. That nigga blocked me and anybody who was ever on the stage with me, nigga. Mass blocks on Clubhouse. Nigga, hashtag expose the exposers. The resistance exists. Let's go.
See,
talk that.
This is right here is why Scandalous was tricking that, you know, we already tricked him out of 2,000. Scandalous trying to trick him out of 10. You know what I'm saying?
He wants the bag.
Yeah, Scandalous, he tried to bait the niggas so bad. Well, he know he CS2 Back. So he know the Scandalous was too sure of himself. He was too cocky, right? So
correct.
Reggie read it, WACK listening, and it says CS2 Back. See, what WACK is reading, you see this stuff that's crossed out? Huh?
No, I'm listening to you dudes. You said, repeat that one more time.
Look at the thing at the screen. You see the paperwork that's crossed out. The part
with the line at the top in the right hand. Well, it'll be my right top corner with the X going. Yeah, correct.
Yeah, right. So right there, if I blow it all the way up, y'all should be able. No, that's as much as it go. It says CI2, confidential informant 2.
Wow.
Right. And that's the low-level purchaser of crack cocaine, et cetera, right? You got a CI2, and then you got a CS2. So with his dumb ass can't read no paperwork, you know, you gang goofy from when he was horny for Karen. You know what I'm saying? You know you don't know how to read no word.
What really happened here is that Porky was spinning. He knows the difference between CS2 and CI2, and he saw that the entire section for CI2 was blacked out with a marker. So why would Porky read the crossed out section, but completely miss the paragraph underneath it? that just happens to be about CS2 back. But hey, it's all out in the open now. We're going to go through that paperwork, just like Porky told us to. And it's crazy, because every time we do exactly what Porky says, all we find are more lies from him. And the blame just keeps landing squarely on his shoulders. The truth is coming to light, and Porky's attempts to spin the story only make his lies more obvious.
So we thought we had one. You know what I'm saying? Scandalous try to bamboozle the nigga. The nigga talking about CS2 back was a low-level drug dealer and this and this and this and that, right? No, that's CI2 back. Right?
Right. I'm listening. Yeah.
So CS2 has provided reliable historical information concerning the Main Street Mafia Crip organization. In the history of Main Street, and shout out to the Main Streets, they got a lot of legendary niggas over there that was getting to that bag. Richie Rich, all kind of dudes, right? Dell Dog is one of the most known Main Street Mafia Crips that ever done it in South Central LA, right? Just the accomplishments he made coming up off the east side of South Central LA with his whole crew on. Nigga ain't on till my whole crew on, nigga. He did that. But anyway, CS2 has provided reliable historical information concerning Main Street Mafia Crip organization. Good luck to WACK talking about he didn't never snitch on nobody. However,
right, Regina,
CS2 is only aware of certain aspects regarding the organization's criminal activities and narcotic distribution network. CS2 has no knowledge or information regarding the methods in which narcotics are being transported to the Los Angeles area and distributed to Main Street Mafia Crip gang members. Additionally, CS2 is unable to provide information regarding the narcotic customers, flow of narcotic proceeds, and methods that they are using to laundering their narcotic proceeds. CS2 is only able to identify a limited number of Main Street Mafia Crip gang members. Why would you say that it says CS2 back is a low-level drug dealer from Main Street Crip when it makes it clear with this definition he's only able to identify a limited number of Main Street Mafia Crip gang members? How you from Main Street, but you can't identify but a few Main Street Mafia Crip members? The nigga ain't from Main Street. That was one of the clues, you goofy ass nigga. Goofologist 101, nigga. CS2 is unable to provide specific information regarding the organization's extortion activities, methods of monetary collections and distribution of proceeds. CS2 is also unable to provide any information regarding the Main Street Mafia Crip organization. And we got one more page. So look, so with other leaders of the other large gang organizations, CS2 is able to provide limited information regarding violent assaults committed by Main Street Mafia Crips, including shootings, burglaries, and murders. CS2 is unwilling to testify in court against members of the Main Street Mafia Crip because CS2 is fearful of retaliation against CS2 and or CS2's family. CS2 believes that if any member of the Main Street Mafia Crip criminal organization becomes aware of CS2's cooperation with law enforcement, the organization will likely orchestrate the execution of CS2.
Porky tried to create this narrative that CS2 back was a Main Street Crip, but we've just found out that was a lie. He also tried to push the idea that he wouldn't have to worry about his family being harmed by anyone, because they don't live on Main Street. But the paperwork tells a completely different story. It clearly states that CS2 WACK refused to testify, because if anyone from Main Street found out he was working, they'd quickly arrange for his execution. What's more, CS2 WACK specifically mentioned that if anyone from Main Street found out, and he just so happened to live right across the street from Studdabox, who was from Main Street, he'd be in serious trouble. Porky was afraid that if Stutterbox found out, he'd either come kill him, or he'd expose where Porky and his wife were living, putting them both in danger.
So, does it say anywhere in about CS2? Did y'all see anything that said something about a low-level drug dealer about CS2, not CI2, CS2? Anything about a low-level drug dealer, or just this declaration that this confidential source is a Main Street Mafia Crip member? No. In fact, everything in there seems to indicate that he has limited information about who the Main Streets is, how the insides of how they're laundering their money, where their dope is delivered, but he was able to give them a little limited amount.
You can't give me an AKA. I ain't never been a pack.
It's very out of the ordinary for there to be an oncoming RICO and for so much of it to already be being discussed on social media and on podcasts.
Who was doing that?
When does that happen? You and 600.
Now that Lucy's in custody, Porky's doing everything he can to distance himself. The same guy who was backing every story Lucy told, co-signing all the lies, is now calling him a liar, saying he never believed a word Lucy said. Porky was the one verifying those claims, and now he's acting like he was never.
Hold on, while we finish these last 15 minutes, I want y'all to get to CS2 WACK. So
I think we got a super chat, Deuce.
Oh yeah, go ahead and shout them out. We had 2 of them.
Man, we got Yaya's Kids with the $20 super chat with the super sticker. Then we got Regina with the $1.99. Keep doing the Lord's work, big bro. And then we got Panda Man with the $5 super chat. Man, listen, anything and everything that's given to the Damu Kiwe Conversations is highly appreciated. Salute to everybody that donated to you, your family, and your tribe.
Hey, look, so for those, because we now that we all know that CS2 WACK was not described as a Main Street Crip, CS2 WACK was not described as a low-level drug dealer, and WACK was smart enough not to take Scandalous back, because Scandalous was trying to hoodwink that nigga, bamboozle him the way we got him up out of that 2000. He was trying to up that one for 10,000, nigga. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't bite. Niggas had more excuses than the nigga going to jail. But let's get into this about CS2 WACK. Scandalous bamboozled Greg Cadence. And he admits that the paperwork does say CS2 WACK, and he also admits that it is WACK100 on that wiretap. Let's go, man.
Welcome back to Scandalous Los Angeles TV, where we expose the exposers. Today, we're going to let you guys hear what Greg Kading has to say about CS2 WACK. You're going to hear Greg attempt to shield his confidential source, but you're also going to hear him place WACK directly in the CS2 driver's seat. I'll interject a little throughout the interview, just to point out a few things. Other than that, I'm going to just let it play. Tell me in the comment section what you think. Now, Greg, this isn't about you. This is about WACK. I understand you have to do what you gotta do. But if he can bring you on Clubhouse to tell us all that stuff, I feel I should be able to ask some questions so the people can be informed. So again, this has nothing to do with you. This is about WACK.
Yeah, I get it. No, and again, I'm not trying to get in the middle of whatever bullshit is going on between WACK and whatever bullshit's going on with Stutterbox. I don't give a fuck about that beef. Whatever it is, they'll figure it out. I'm just going to tell you investigatively, we would have listed WACK, Cash Jones, in our paperwork. He would have been like target one, and his phone would have been target one. And so when we were looking at him, we used particular language in our paperwork. So if we're writing the wiretap affidavit for his phone, we would say Cash Jones, also known as WACK. You were utilizing target number or whatever, which would be his phone. I think it was some 661 phone number. And that's just the language. Nowhere within the paperwork related to the investigation of Cash Jones, was he ever mentioned as a CS or an informant? Because he wasn't.
Okay. Now, Greg, we're talking about the case Studdabox had against Shaquille O'Neal and the 7 Main Street Crips. When WACK brought you on Clubhouse, he asked you what would he have been referred to as in the paperwork.
And then in your paperwork.
Hey, y'all, we got breaking news. Y'all hit that motherfucking like button.
Yes, sir.
When this come on, y'all, get ready to be turned up after he exposed this. We got something that's finna break the fucking internet. Hit your like buttons. Share. Let's go.
I don't know. How was I referred to? Was I referred to WACK, Cash Jones? They have this back name. I don't know who the fuck back is. I don't know. I know I've never had that moniker, but I don't know. Maybe it was some coded shit. Or how did you recall referring to me through all the paperwork when you guys were like listening in on my wiretaps and like saying, okay, this is WACK, this is Cash Jones on the wiretap. What was I referred to in your, because I've never looked over that paperwork, never had a need to. What was I referred to?
If WACK had nothing to do with Del Dog, SHAQ, or any of the Main Street Crips, why would his name be being referred to in the paperwork at all?
So again, this is completely different investigation. We have to be real careful that we don't cross over these ideas, because when I said he would have been mentioned in the paperwork, if we're talking about Cash Jones's case, then we may have mentioned a CS, which would have been Stutterbox, saying these things about Cash that we investigated. There's that. Now, if Cash is asking me if his name was in the Main Street case, no, it wasn't. Now, if Cash is asking me if his name was in the Main Street case, no, it wasn't.
So we all know that Greg is not being truthful when he says that. We can clearly see WACK's government name, Cash Jones, all in this case. Hey, Christopher Loves Boys, this shows you why you can't believe everything the police say. This also shows you that the police are protecting WACK, as they would any other confidential informant that's in good standing with them, unlike Studdabox. But I want you to hear what Greg says right after he said WACK was not in the Main Street case at all.
There was no mention of Cash in the Main Street case. There was no mention of Cash in the Main Street case, other than when he's trying to get a hold of Mark Stevens and in order to tell him that Box has been compromised.
Yeah, and that's what the wiretap transcript said CS2 back, or WACK, was calling Del Dog to do. Not Del Dog, but Mark Stevens.
See what you just did, though?
Yeah, I said Del Dog.
You said CS2 WACK. It doesn't say that, does it?
Yes, it does.
Doesn't it say CS2 back?
Yes, it.
The head of the Joint Task Force, Detective Greg Caden, just checked Scandalous Los Angeles for saying CS2 WACK and saying, well, doesn't the paperwork say CS2 back? So how did Deuce Sims, let's play that again. How did Deuce Sims ask CS2 back if the lead investigator, the lead of the Joint Task Force, who Detective Michael Coet, who was the sheriff, and Detective Fournier was the lead to the Main Street Mafia Crip investigation. see, these cases kind of enjoying because you had so many parts. Suge Knight was already under investigation. They're trying to for the Biggie Small murder investigation. Once the Biggie mom and them reignited the lawsuit for $400 million against LAPD, based upon Detective Poole's reasoning that the LAPD were involved in the hit to Biggie Smalls, they restarted this joint task force, putting Greg Cadence at the head. And the head of this investigation, they get on Stutterbox because they get a snitch who says Amir Muhammad was supposed to be the hitman that killed Biggie. They find out that Amir Muhammad was used as a driver license and alias by Stutterbox. They get on Stutterbox, and then Stutterbox gives them this nigga WACK. They're trying to find Biggie shit. But in the meantime, while they're trying to find out who killed Biggie Smalls, Stutterbox and WACK tried to extort Shaquille O'Neal and Money Mark Stevens with a sex tape based on the Ray J deal that went bad. Now, this dude is the head of that of the joint task force, and he's telling you that the paperwork says CS2 back, and then he's finna tell you who it is.
CS2 WACK. It doesn't say that, does it?
Yes, it does.
Doesn't it say CS2 back?
Yes, it says CS2 back.
Okay, well, do you know what you just said?
What did I say?
CS2 WACK.
I meant CS2 back.
Because in your mind, and bear with me, no offense here, but I think you've already come to the conclusion that back is WACK, and that's why that's such an easy mistake to make.
Well, the reason I think WACK is CS2 back is because that's who Mark Stevens said he was talking to.
Well, nobody's disputing that. Nobody's disputing that Mark Stevens is saying that WACK is who he was talking to.
But he's saying that that's back. He is saying that back is WACK.
How does Mark Stevens put that together? Show me how Mark Stevens has anything to substantiate that back is WACK.
In the paperwork they put him as back, BACK, and I kept asking the lawyer, like, who the fuck is? I ain't talked to no back, and they said, nah, that's WACK, but they put him as back because he a blood, so it's back. I said, oh, okay.
And was this back also referred as confidential source number 2?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so no offense to Mark, he doesn't know any better. But when we're writing official police reports, we don't play the game. We don't change language or change spelling because we are, part of the gang culture. We're not going to put WACK. We're going to put back because he's a blood, not a crip, and we don't. That's not how we operate. We don't. That's gang shit. We don't write as gangsters. We write as police officers and try to be as specific as possible.
Greg is saying they try to be as specific as possible, and that they don't do things like that. But we're all looking at a wiretap transcript where they did exactly that. They put a person named Back in the paperwork, and no one knows who Back is.
We don't change things in order to... So if Mark Stevens is thinking that, oh man, the cops just put this in there this way because he's a blood and not a crip, it's not how it works.
I hear you, Greg. But even without them doing that, the conversation with Mark Stevens and Del Dog did actually take place. And Mark Stevens is saying the person who called him looking for Del Dog's phone number was WACK. Mark said he doesn't know anyone named Back. So why would they put some fake person that Mark has never ever talked to in the transcripts?
No, I get that. See, we are totally in agreement. The conversation is WACK, obviously. The conversation is WACK, obviously. But
the conversation on this call that they're talking about, Del Dog, Mark Stevens, the conversation, the WACK boy, CS2 Back, is WACK100. Now,
No, it's the conversations. Hey, listen.
okay.
Hey, listen,
Yeah.
bozos. You paid your op.
So, guess what? Breaking news. Shout out to the homie Slim, man. He just sent me some what you call it. So remember, WACK100 house was raided April 25th, 2008. They served the search warrant. And then he went to go to the FBI headquarters and talk to the feds on the 27th. Remember, Detective Greg Caden told us that, and Wack said that he went to go get his property. That's why he was going to pick up his property at FBI headquarters on the 64th floor. Well, we found out that was a lie. Hold on. This shit is nasty work, bro. So, breaking news. Let me show y'all this. Evidence that WACK100
What you mean?
Listen,
I didn't lie about nothing. I told you niggas what I did.
Wait,
and
CS2 back. Could you read that for us right now? Because it was said Sunday. You said you went to pick up your stuff. You said that your property and files that were taken. Matter of fact, we're gonna play that so people can hear the lie. Refresh their memory, right? Because you
what I said was the sun was hot on that day. I didn't actually say. I didn't backbally say I was there on Sunday. I said the sun was hot on that specific day. So
specific, but no, you didn't have to tell us that part. We got Detective Greg Caden to tell us that the search warrant was served on Friday and that they spoke with you on Sunday, and you told us it was at FBI headquarters. So you went to speak to the Joint Task Force, federalized deputized agents about something that happened Friday during the search, and then it comes to find out that the federal building on Wilshire is closed on Sundays. So you went to the federal building to talk with the Joint Task Force with your lawyer on a Sunday when the FBI headquarters building was closed. They made special arrangements in the upper conference room where they had 6 to 8 FBI agents. Oh man, we finna get to this real quick. Hey, let me finish playing this real quick. But this is breaking news. We never knew that this FBI headquarters was closed on Sundays, and matched it up that the date that Wack went to talk to the FBI task force.
See, let me tell you, no federal building on Wilshire Boulevard in Los Angeles is open on Sunday. But what you forgot is that I was in Wheeler, Texas, you bozos. They took me to Beaumont. I was at that federal building. Texas laws is different from Cali, from Valley. I thought you knew that, dummy.
Bozo. You know, he gotta try to provoke you to and inflame you to change make you lose your focus. Like you gotta prove yourself to a buster like him. It never works on me. Let's go.
Involved. In this video, we'll expose how CS2 Back, being Loose Cannon's official handler, has been the Porky puppet master, pulling Lucy's strings from the very beginning. This is deeper than YouTube content. This is about handlers, the feds, and how the streets are waking up to who's really who. For anybody who still questions whether Porky the Porch Monkey puppet master is working for the feds or not, I want you to listen to what he said a while ago about Vlad TV.
Man, you better let you know that Vlad, look, bro, I told y'all the other day, Vlad was working with the police the whole time. Vlad was working with the police the whole time. Yeah, you did say the whole time he was working. on the interview. Certain questions he was asking was direction from him. Certain questions he was asking was direction from him. The whole time he was paying us to come in there so he can do that. But they bit. They went for it. Now, if we continue, even like me, like little Bootsy, to go over there with that who don't look like us, to go over there with that who don't look like us, he just showed his head. He cooperating with the law, motherfuckers. He cooperating with the law, motherfuckers. Right? And that's on y'all. Yeah, that's what that is.
Did y'all catch that? Because Porky just said a lot in that little rant he just went on. He just said that DJ Vlad is working with the feds, and that they're feeding Vlad specific questions to ask his guests. He also claimed Vlad is paying certain celebrities to come on his platform, just so he can ask them the questions that the feds want answers to. Then he called out Lil Boosie by name. Porky said if Boosie keeps doing interviews with a guy who doesn't look like us, then he's showing his hand, basically saying that Boosie and anyone else doing Vlad interviews are cooperating. So now that we know how Porky really sees Vlad, and the people who look like us that sit down with him, let's take a listen to just one of the many statements he made on Vlad, who Porky again said was the feds.
After the murder, when Quando went back to Georgia, what did he immediately do?
Dropped his flag?
There it goes. What was he claiming?
Rowles 60 script.
Where Brick Baby from?
Rowles 60 script.
What you think the police told Quando?
That the Rowles 60s set him up?
Who you think he checked in with?
Rowles 60s?
With who?
Okay, I see where you're going with this.
That's
I'm not going to say
listen.
it. Yeah.
Listen.
I'm not going to say it.
No, listen.
You just heard Porky sit down with the feds and attempt to implicate Big U in another murder. At this point, I really don't know what else needs to be said.
Okay, I already know the answer to this because I heard you say it on No Jumper, but I know a lot of people be asking, I can repeat what you're gonna say, but I'll ask it. Why did you get in bed or be cool with Luce and bring him on and start exposing them to No Jumper? I know the word is
he had a TV show
your enemy is my friend, but go ahead.
He had a TV show coming out.
Okay.
Because you got to remember, I didn't really know a lot of shit of people Luce had dealt with, right? Because remember, you had an issue with him and I didn't know it. I guess he said.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
He said some crazy shit about you.
Yeah.
Right?
Reggie Wright. Listen. Let me hear one more thing you talking about me, you fat bitch. And I'm gonna expose your ass. You know the story, what you and said, what I used to do when y'all was at death row. Yeah, I know. Don't make me expose you and make your fat ass get off that couch, bitch.
I thought you was protecting me. You. Some people would tell me you sick him on me, but I know better than that.
Reggie might be laughing, but deep down, he knows the truth. And the truth is that
Reggie is saying that people would tell him that whack sick loose cannon on Reggie, but he don't believe it. I wonder who those people is. See, a lot of people give me a lot of slack. Oh, dude, Sims, your ass be talking to Reggie every time we lining up Porky. Then we go at Reggie. Then we line up Reggie and go at Porky to keep them doing what we got them doing right now. Let me cook, man. You got Pork Butt and Porky the Porch Monkey Pig Paw Root. Nigga, we got them right now at each other's throat. Let me cook. Damn. Y'all act like y'all driving the whip. Nigga, get in the passenger seat.
Porky is the one behind Luce's attack on him. Porky isn't just some background character. He's Lucy's handler.
Chuck, we all have a handler, bro.
Stop it, Wack.
You do? I got a handler. I'm Lucy's handler.
Hey, my handler tried to throw me
I got a handler. My handler, yo, Chuck. We all got handlers. Chuck,
what up?
We all have a handler, bro.
Stop it, Wack.
You do? I got a handler. I'm Luce's handler. I'm Luce's handler. I'm Luce's handler.
Hey, my handler tried to throw me.
I got a handler. My handler, yo, Chuck.
I didn't
6 months
know
ago,
that was a handler.
6 months ago, my handler, you ain't noticed, I done bagged up off the app about 50%.
Yeah.
Because my handler said, WACK, contract's about to close, time to start shutting that down. My handler told me that.
Who your handler, R&T,
See,
bro?
a handler ain't gotta be.
Hey, that's the real Bimmy or that's somebody trolling?
What?
That's Bimmy. I already sent him my invite. No, Bimmy, yeah. Bimmy, I told Bimmy to pull up.
Listen, a handler don't gotta be like, you know.
Yo, Bimmy, you gotta accept the invite.
You know, like Lou. Man, if I wasn't in this crazy year, this would have been on some other.
Man,
Yeah,
I
that's
do be
the
on
day.
the other. You
205,
just be stopping me.
that's the
Man, I do be on the other. You just be stopping me. Man, I do be on the other. You just be stopping me.
Yeah, the handler is a motherfucker that you are listening to because you respect them and you know they got your best interest at heart. Lior has Kevin's best interest at heart, right? I got Lou's best interest at heart. I got Lou's best interest at heart. I got Lou's best interest at heart.
Whatever Porky says, Lucy follows. If Porky tells him to stand down, he does. But that didn't happen this time, because Porky wanted it to happen. He gave the green light. And Lucy's not the only one carrying out Porky's agenda. Porky is also SBGB TV's handler. And right now, like clockwork, SBGB TV is out here pushing the same narrative about Reggie, the one Porky's been fueling all along.
Back in the day, Reggie got caught up fucking with a dude named Sid that was working for Suge as a personal assistant. Woo! Hold up. See, I knew WACK got some dirt on Reggie Wright. Reggie Wright liked to fuck with those old boys. Hold up. Reggie Wright was fucking with them boys. Hold up. Or was he in the streets fucking around? We need to know. Because if he was fucking with them boys, he looked like one of those motherfuckers, right?
The pattern's clear. The pork belly puppet master pulls the strings, and his puppet puppies dance.
So I didn't know nothing about that shit.
Yeah.
I called him. I said, yo, bro, what's this crazy shit you saying about Reg? He was talking about like one of the security guards told him. See, this is how you know when you thinking this crazy shit. Pez or somebody's uncle talking about they did some sexual shit to you, right? That shit?
Yeah, well, he said it was the Vivian or something, the accountant or bookkeeper or something. And we know we don't have no black folks that work for us. She don't trust black people with his money.
So I think January, he came to me. And it was a manager dude he got. It's a white dude, bro. He just called me the other day. It's a white dude he got. Maceo or Marcio, some shit. But he the one originally called me. He like, yo, Luce Cannon got this show, and can you help him market it? So at this time, Luce said a bunch of crazy shit about me. Luce said a bunch of crazy shit about me. Luce said a bunch of crazy shit about me. But I didn't pay no attention because I didn't really know him. But I didn't pay no attention because I didn't really know him. But I didn't pay no attention because I didn't really know him.
By now, most of y'all should know. If Porky's lips are moving, there's a good chance he's lying. This is exactly what I meant when I said Porky's been doing everything he can to distance himself from the guy he handles. Now he's trying to claim that when Luce was dissing him, they didn't even know each other. That's what he's sitting here saying, with a straight face, like we're all just supposed to forget the past. Porky already admitted that back when Luce was going at him, it was all part of the plan. That Luce was being instructed to diss him, to make it look like they were enemies. So let's roll the clip. Let's hear Porky, in his own words, admit that he was pulling the strings the entire time.
You know why he know the footage exists? You know why Luce can't know that the footage I speak of is real?
That's the baby mama.
That's his fucking cousin.
Oh shit, bro. I'm done. I'm gone. All right, y'all.
You didn't catch when I said you stupid. Luce been with me the whole time, you dumb, stupid ass. This was over there shaking like knots right now. God.
Luce has been with him the whole time. He made a diss song about WACK. He made a diss song. That was the play to do that.
Come on. He said I got about 50 niggas on the street right now.
A motherfucking loyal member underneath him. That's how you do it. You always keep one right there. Like, go at me all the time.
Dang. Luce been wanting to come out. I just didn't let him out yet. Luce been wanting to come out. I just didn't let him out yet. I just didn't let him out yet. I just didn't let him out yet.
So Porky just said out of his own mouth that Luce has been with him the entire time. You heard his pet pedophile, Bacon Grease Beast, cheerleading and praising Porky for having Luce with him the whole time. Porky then went on to say that Luce has been wanting to come out, but he himself wouldn't let Luce come out yet.
Hold on. Let me see.
I was like, damn, he didn't left the content.
No, bro, I don't know what happened.
You say that it was all premeditated and planned out?
It was. He told me that's what he wanted to do. I told him to do it. So I looked at it, and he warned me, he said, WACK is some shit on the internet, but he's really trying to market this show. It's a bag for you. I said, what do you want? He wants you to get him to the platforms. So I brought him to No Jumper. If you notice, him and his wife is there. It's called The Beast. It's the name of the show.
Okay.
It's out Urban Flicks, right? So I had February, March, April. February to May was the run. So, you know, they paid me what they paid me. I took him there, and then I seen the academics. I had to trick academics. I told academics I was coming.
You act like you was going. Yeah, I heard you. You told me, yeah.
Yeah, right. I know once he was there in front of him, he was going to run the show.
He going to go ahead and do it. Yeah.
This is when he said the Carl's Winslow shit.
Yeah,
Right. So in my head, I'm like, listen, I'm here to do a job. Whatever nigga want to say, he can say. You get what I'm saying? Period. I just told him, I think the only stipulation I put on him was you.
So again, Porky is the one handling Lucy. He just said that he hooked him up with No Jumper and DJ Academics. He also just said that he was able to put stipulations on Lucy also, proving that Lucy does what Porky allows him to do. And if Porky doesn't want him to do something, he'll put stipulations on him.
Yeah.
You was the only one, because I said, Reg, I don't know nothing about it. I'm getting paid to promote this show. But
because you know when I called and asked you, and I got mad at you because I said you was protecting me. Because I wanted to know.
I said, Reg, I'm not protecting nobody.
Yeah.
I don't know nothing about it. This is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you this. He won't do that to you again, right? That shit was said, I guess, prior to, right?
Yeah.
And again, Reg,
well, he was mad because he felt like I called him out for saying that was a lie or a play about what y'all, what he said he had. And I was just saying, and all I said, if it don't come out by that date, then he lied.
That's exactly what happened.
Waiting to see how they gonna cover up February the 14th if this doesn't come out. And if it does come out, whoa. A lot of people credibility is on the line with this.
And Reggie made it clear. He said if Luce didn't drop that video on February 14th, the one where Big U supposedly FaceTimed him and said Nipsey Hussle had been killed 30 minutes before it actually happened, then both Lucy and Porky were lying to everybody. Now fast forward to today, and suddenly Porky saying Loose was lying the whole time. But let's not forget, back then, Porky was standing right next to him, defending everything he said. He was even acting like he was ready to bet money on Loose's claims.
Okay, but you realize that some very, very serious allegations were made during that interview.
So what?
And a lot of them don't really seem to stand up.
Luke, how you know? You a white boy.
I've seen a lot of evidence to the contrary.
You seen what? What you see? I tell you what, Adam, you're a wealthy man. I'll front the 100. You put up 100,000. I have Loose pull up. If he ain't got what he say he got, I'll pay you 100. If he do, you give me 100.
I'm not really trying to be the guy who decides exactly what happened or didn't happen.
Stop trying to discredit something that you can't. But what we can do, hold on, Adam. I'll front the 100 for Loose. If he ain't got it, I'll lose that. If he got what he say he got, you pay. We got a bet?
So at this point, it's clear. By Porky's own admission, he's been Lucy's handler, and they've been working together for a long time. But now that Lucy's behind bars, Pork Belly's out here acting like he barely knows the guy. Trying to play innocent, like he wasn't right there, in the mix the whole time. The switch-up is nasty work. But the receipts don't lie.
Well, Wack, let me ask you this, because I've been knowing you as this legendary kind of behind-the-scenes figure throughout hip-hop for decades. I'll keep it real, I hadn't really heard much about Loose Cannon until he started hanging around with you.
That's a fact. That's just what's real.
But I knew very little about him until I've read this this criminal complaint, and I've become to know how close he was to Big U, knowing your relationship with Big U. Now I'm looking back thinking, how had you and him got so close considering that history?
They didn't become cool until Loose was no longer cool with... But he was...
How are you trusting a guy that was so cool with Big U?
Up until, like, what, 2 years ago?
Nah, 2021, early 2021.
Okay. So CS2 Back and Aryan Adam are trying to push the narrative that Porky didn't start messing with Loose until 2021. Even though Porky already told Adam the Aryan that him and Lucy were together way back when Lucy did the diss song. For some reason, Porky is now hell-bent on making the people believe that he didn't start messing with Loose until 2021.
So at the end of the day, it's like, I realized, like, damn, it's 2023 and you got a BlackBerry. Like they didn't.
How long have I been asking you about that BlackBerry?
Since 2015. Since 2015. Since 2015.
So now Porky's saying he met Lucy in 2021. But that doesn't line up with what he said before. In that No Jumper interview with Lucy just last year, they both admitted they'd knew each other back in 2015, clearly showing they'd been locked in long before 2021. The timeline's off, and Porky knows it. This just proves how long he and Lucy have really been working together.
When I do what I'm supposed to do, everybody witnessed it. Y'all witnessed outside of No Jumper. Did I do what I was supposed to do?
You didn't do anything.
No, bullshit. Oh, bullshit. I stopped some shit.
Wack,
Did I not?
When you lined up?
Did I not?
When you lined
I
up?
didn't?
You mean stopped it?
You telling me I didn't stop nothing outside this building?
Unless there was a threat that we didn't see off camera.
Are you telling me out there with this weenie, the PDF file, Jay Reed, y'all telling me I didn't stop nothing?
You could get sued.
No, you're a motherfucking lie. I didn't stop nothing.
You hear Porky yelling, trying to plead his case, saying he stopped Lucy from killing Jay Reed that day at No Jumper. When you run the footage back, the truth comes out. Lucy pulls the gun off his hip, and at the same time, you hear the Porky puppet master himself shouting at Lucy, telling him not to do it. Porky didn't break up anything. He didn't intervene physically, but he did tell Lucy to stand down. And Lucy listened, because Porky is his handler and puppet master. Porky wasn't lying when he said that he told Lucy to stop. But what Porky is conveniently leaving out is he's also the one who told his minion to do it, showing you again that Lucy does whatever Porky tells him to do, because Porky is his handler.
They got caught, doing it. They try to come up to Wack on some goofy stuff. Wack said, nephew, let's make an example.
and that's what we did. WACK to nephew, let's make an example, and that's what we did. WACK to nephew, let's make an example, and that's what we did.
Next time I won't stop again.
What'd you stop?
When it happened though.
Would I
They were
stop?
gonna kill him?
Would I stop?
Why saved y'all life? What happened
Nigga,
there?
would I stop? Oh, y'all got amnesia?
Oh,
don't do that. Don't do that. Because it could have been a whole other scene out there.
Adam don't play dumb.
Are you for real?
I ain't gonna lie, sometimes Adam plays dumb. Hold on, I know, hold on.
Did you watch the video?
I seen him.
So you're saying they would have killed him if you weren't there?
You listen, bro. You heard
They
it.
gave him a leg up.
You heard it.
Let's give him a leg up. That's what you.
Are you for real? All right, I got you.
So Wax stop the situation.
What? If I went without my voice, that shit was gonna go somewhere.
That's all, folks.
Porky the Puppet Master Paru. That's nasty work. Salute to Scandalous Los Angeles TV, man. Y'all go ahead and watch that again. It was definitely worth the whole hour and a half. But let's get to this real quick. Finish cooking this nigga. We got a super sticker from Hughes Rule ESP. Super sticker, $4.99. Salute to you, brother, man. We really appreciate any and everything donated to the Damu Kiwe Conversation. And then we go. Adam is smarter than everyone in that room. WACK100 is a PDF. Yo, he didn't stop shit because Lucy wasn't going to pop anyway. I don't know. What it do? Active crew. Love the Damu Kiwe Conversations. Good looking out. Gold Diggers LLC. It's a RICO. A lot of people might tell, says the guy who's been to the feds, allegedly. Right. So let's get to this real quick because I want y'all to really hear about the upper conference room. Then we're going to get into the Biggie, what you call it, and a little bit about Tanisha Swan. All right, which one was this? Let's pull this one back. Oh, yeah, so we're going to go to watch full video. We're going to pull this back, son. All right, make sure y'all can see it. Oh, y'all couldn't see it. Boom, here we go. Let's get into this real quick.
My means, which kind of in the back.
Yeah.
Uncle Jerome is Stutterbox and the nigga in the truck is whack. That really happened.
Man.
It's a book, actually, nigga. Look, my PTR. It's a book called Murder Rap by Greg Cadence. You can go to the chapter called Stutterbox. You're gonna see a picture of me, him, SHAQ. The police that all these snitches work for, when he retired, he exposed them all. Keefe D from Compton Crip. He exposed all his informants. So that's the picture in the book in my PTR. That's that one. That's that my brother. Me, SHAQ, and that Stutterbox to the left. Right?
Yeah.
So if you go to the chapter called Stutterbox, they gonna break down everything he did. And like, yeah, out of nowhere, he came in, gave us this man's name, told us he had a trucking company. If you want to get to SHAQ, you got to go through him. He moving cocaine and dope from here to there. They spent $300,000-$400,000, nigga, with wires, tracking devices, all kind of shit. They came into my crib.
You chilling with the answer?
I lost a dog that day. My dog Wacko, one of my bulls. When they hit the back gate, he locked on the nigga. They had to shoot the nigga like 7-8 times.
Man.
Kill him. He came in, cuffed my wife. It was like 40 agents, my nigga. And couldn't find shit. Had to walk up out of here. He sent them. He had a moment. They thought they were going to find something in the house. He didn't find nothing. I still didn't know what time it was. Let me tell you what I knew what time it was. So when they come in, they hit my home office. They were searching about 18 minutes. When they got to the home office, dude called the search off. Because one of their reasons why they went in front of the judge, they filed some shit called living beyond my means, which kind of supported their probable cause, along with their confidential informant that they paying. He's a reliable source. So they watching the lifestyle. So when he come into the crib and he hit the home office, he sees, well, actually, let me rewind. On paper, Cass Jones made $30,000-$40,000 a year. That's it. as a social security number, I don't make no money. So they looking at everything and they like, this don't add up. But what they failed to do was run everything. So when they hit that home office and they seen all these different corporations and they seen these cars under this corporation, these houses under this corporation, this under this, he then knew everything was justified on my side, right? Because like even today, I haven't had a personal bank account 15, 16 years. Everything I do is up under a corp. I don't give a when I get gas, it's up under a corp. Whatever I do is I'm operating up under a corporation. So they take my files, uncuff my wife. They take her. She had 2 guns, legal guns in her name in the crib. They take those.
Now, did y'all hear him say there was 2 guns? Remember he said he heard the bozos say that there was more than 1 gun? And didn't I bring the police on Clubhouse to say it was 1 gun? There's a whole lot of lying going on. Nasty work, bro. Nasty work. 2 guns. Listen, y'all thought I was illin', right?
Uncuff my wife. They take her. She had 2 guns, legal guns in her name in the crib. They take those. Call my attorney. We go down to the federal building off of Wilshire and Sepulveda, whatever that shit is down there. Now, this one I knew what time it was. When I go up to the 50th or 60th floor, nigga, we come out the elevator, nigga, ain't nothing but FBI flak jackets walking around this. About.
Remember, this is a Sunday when the office is closed. His house was raided 2 days previously. And he's going here with his lawyer, and there's 6 to 8 FBI flapjackets when he get to the 60th floor of a building that only got 17 floors. Let's go.
2 months, maybe about a month or 2 prior to this happening at my crib, Stutterbox invited me to this spot called Stevie's on the Strip, soul food restaurant. So when I get there, it's 2 females there. It's 2 females there, right?
Jason Hard.
Now, most people move a certain way. I'm really an eyeball type of nigga. Whack don't do, I ain't off into. So when I get there, it's him, it's 2 chicks at the table. I sit at the table. What up, Box? What you need me for?
Right,
oh, man, just, get you out the house, nigga, hang out a little bit. 2 women, 2 of my homegirls, this, that, and other. I said, oh, okay, yeah, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? About 5 minutes, he said, I'm finna go to the bathroom. When he go to the bathroom, the chick start popping. She telling me she from New Orleans. She came out here to meet with this nigga. This bitch ass nigga answered his phone. She come out here every month to buy 5 keys, all this shit, right? So when she talking, I'm looking at the bitch, right? Bitch bad. So when Box come back, I tell him I gotta go to the bathroom. So I make my way to the bathroom. Instead of making the left, I make a hard right to valet. I get on up out of there.
You chilling with the answer.
Right? When I got to the 60th floor, T-Money, guess who I saw the FBI flak jacket? The bitch.
That's crazy.
Right? So I say, damn, that's the same bitch. So by now my antennas go up like, damn, I'm saying this nigga Box with a fed and don't even know it. This one, I still ain't know what time it is, right? So we get into the conference room. They got like 7, 8 feds, whoever they little leader is, whatever y'all call him. I'm sitting down, me and my attorney going crazy. We filing a lawsuit, harassment. Y'all embarrassed my client. He lives in a gated community. He can't live there anymore. Homeowners Association is filing complaints against him because you guys came the way you came. His neighbors are frowning upon him. All this shit. We playing for the bag, right? So, dude says, "Well, we still got your client."
Did y'all hear the conference room? Hold on. He's in a conference room on a Sunday.
I still ain't know what time it is.
FBI headquarters.
So we get into the conference room. They got like 7, 8 feds.
Hold on,
whoever
we gotta
they
stop
leader
that.
is, whatever.
We get to the conference room, they got 7 to 8 feds. Let's talk about that real quick. Such reprehensible statement. CS2 back is the real life Master Splinter. Weirdo Whack. Hey, yo, Pay Rue, cash, leave Pyro alone. Your accolades, dummy. One in the wink. What? Wink, wink. Y'all just about having his ass to admit he's foul. He already did. All you got to do is play and listen. This nigga said he went to the conference room of the upper conference room on the 60th floor of FBI headquarters on a Sunday. Remember, this is when Greg Caden said that he came to talk to them on a Sunday when the building is closed, nigga. And it's 6 to 8 FBI flapjackets inside the conference room. You know, the conference room is where you have conversations. This is where we have the meetings. This nigga having a nigga, how you gonna tell Loose Cannon not to go to his hood day, but you went to the FBI flapjacket hood day at FBI headquarters, nigga? Nigga, what the fuck? Nigga, going to hood day with the FBI, nigga. In the upper conference room, bro. Oh, yeah, this is nasty work. Wack said he went to the 5th floor, same floor bro man went to. Bro man for the 5th floor. Yeah, this is nasty. Say if you say you don't want to talk, you don't have to go to Fed's building on a Sunday and they say they owe you a favor. Hey, listen, man. Listen, man. All this shit is him. Now let's listen. So he gets up here, and then look what happens next.
Y'all call him. I'm sitting down, me and my attorney going crazy. We filing a lawsuit, harassment. Y'all embarrassed my client. He lives in a gated community. He can't live there anymore. Homeowners Association is filing complaints against him because you guys came the way you came. His neighbors are frowning upon him. All this shit. We playing for the bag, right?
FBI Hood Day hashtag.
Dude says, well, we still got your client on 2 different situations. He like, is that right? We'll put him on the table. We walking out of here, right? So first situation, he said, well, we found firearms in the house. He's an ex-con convicted felon. He can't be around firearms, right? So I stopped my attorney. I said, well, you ain't found no firearms in my house. He said, yes, we did. These firearms and such and such. I said, well, I ain't never seen them firearms in my life. He said, well, they registered to your wife.
So those is firearms. So look, Cut Different said the feds closing the Biggie case in 2005. So when Greg Caden reopened the case, the feds wasn't involved. So how did Box put the feds on what? No, Cut Different. They reopened the investigation. And they reopened that and started the joint task force. That's when Greg Caden became the head of the joint task force. They were all deputized as, I believe, DEA agents. And mind you, this is when Biggie Mom and Faith Evans and the state reopened the Biggie murder investigation. Now they paid them $1 million plus for attorney fees. The court ordered the city of Los Angeles or the LAPD to pay over $1 million in court fees to represent Viola Wallace, Faith Evans, and the Biggie Smalls estate, Christopher Wallace estate. But they definitely were working with the feds. Even if you watch the movie, you see FBI agents. And then when we finna get to these documents, you're going to see other federal agents involved, including the IRS. When we get to what's her name? Tammy Hawkins. But let's finish this because we're almost finished, man.
I said, well, what they got to do with me? He said, well, that's your wife. I said, okay. Well, what they got to do with me? He said, well, you live in a home. I said, you can't prove I live in that home. Right? What, you got some cars that's registered to a corporation? Matter of fact, I said, can I go in my back pocket? I'll pull my wallet out. I slide my wallet. What's this? That's where I live. I've been a resident of Oklahoma since 2003. I got 13 houses on my portfolio. Which one you going to put me in various states? Right? I said, you see that? Commercial driver's license. I'm a truck driver.
I'm with you, Degante.
So you putting some guns on me that's in a California residence, but yet I pay Oklahoma state taxes. Help me understand it. Let that go. Second thing they had against me, they press play, wiretap. This is why I know when I hear certain wiretaps was conspiracy, how they get you. They got me on the phone. Said, yeah. All right, what you got? Said, we got a special move. Where it's coming from? Down by National City, down by Tijuana, Mexico. Yeah. All right. It's gonna be kind of heavy, but it'll pay you 23,000 one way. Where it's going? Seattle area, Seattle, Bellevue, Tacoma, multiple stops. Get it to them before they close. And I was you straight. All right, no problem. I'll be down there to get it.
You chilling with the answers.
So they turned off the thing. They like, well, our confidential informant has said you moving drugs for Suge Knight. I said, moving drugs for Suge Knight. Now, me personally, I've never heard Suge involved in the cocaine, the drug dealing, none of that shit. So I'm looking at it like they crazy because I know what recording they got. I said, well, can I make a phone call in front of you on speakerphone? Yeah. Call the number. What up, Wack? Hey.
And then he just lies and insults our intelligence like the feds and the DEA don't understand to make sure that they set up a ploy to get niggas on wiretap. So let me go to this one real quick. We don't even got to talk about it. Everybody already heard him talking about he say SHAQ and 7 Main Street Crips. And if not, you can catch that on I think it's on Bomb First. It's a lot of other channels it's on too, but let's go into this about Tanisha Swan. Let's go. Who corroborated the evidence that WACK initially gave. Remind you, Reggie Wright Jr. is the one that brought Tanisha Swan to the feds to corroborate the evidence that WACK initially brought. Let's go.
Alias of Tanisha Swan was the mother of one of his children. She was also criminally complicit in some of Suge's nefarious business activities.
Teresa told y'all that they were that's on Temple Street, that they were deputized as DEA agents. So they meet with her the third time at the DEA headquarters. Let's go.
In preparation for their third meeting with Tanisha Swan, the task force scoured the case files. They noticed that
now they got Tanisha Swan, but they're saying that Darren Dupree and Greg Caden are saying that Poochie Faust's name keep popping up in this Biggie murder. Where do y'all think they got that name from initially? Remember, Stutterbox told us that WACK100 gave them Poochie. That's where they first heard it. It takes two witnesses to corroborate a fact, and it worked just for the purposes of getting off that $400 million lawsuit by the Christopher Wallace estate. WACK100 gave him Poochie, who was already unalive, and then Tanisha Swan was taken by Reggie Wright Jr. to the DEA headquarters to cooperate with the police and to also corroborate the story.
He is in prison was none other than George Williams, one of Suge's trusted friends and enforcers. This gave Roderick Reed's information considerable credibility. We wanted to go and question Reed, but because his case was on appeal, the United States Attorney's Office precluded us from doing that. But what we do have is these letters further corroborating Poochie's involvement in the murder of Biggie Smalls. In the meantime,
so that further corroborated. That's not where it initially came from. So again, I ask, where did the name Poochie Faust originally come from in the connection to the unalive and the Christopher Wallace? In the chat, if you think you know the answer.
We decided to approach Reggie Wright Jr., the owner of Right Way Protective Services. They provided all this security for Death Row Records. When we met with Reggie Wright Jr., The most interesting thing he had to say was when he described the unique relationship that Suge Knight had with Wardell Poochie Faust. He described it as a very secretive relationship, that they would always go.
So Reggie, the orca, described to these same task force the unique relationship that Suge had with Poochie, giving them the idea of how close him and Suge really was. Then the same person who he brought from death row tells them that Poochie was the one that knocked down Biggie. Then the orca takes Tanisha Swan, Suge Knight's baby mother, to the DEA office the third time to meet with this same team. And she corroborates what was already told to her, that Poochie was the one that killed Biggie. Nasty work.
Go off to the side to talk. Then Tanisha Swan would know that and call our bluff, and the whole strategy would be upended.
No, not if you told your buddy Reggie Wright that what you were going to do, and he told Tanisha Swan when he dropped her off. If you read the paperwork, they specifically went out of their way to say Tanisha Swan drove herself to the meeting, which was a fucking lie. They were hiding the fact off the top that Reggie Wright Jr. is the one that admittedly drove Tanisha Swan to the DEA office to meet with them. Pay attention, man.
On May 28th of 2009, we sat down with Tanisha Swan. Call it conducting a ruse. It's completely a standard that's used in law enforcement investigations all the time. It's much like in that scene.
Hey, real quick, G Wiz says, I don't believe any of these idiots. Reggie, Greg, etc. It's all hearsay. David Mack and Rafael Perez is my guest, and they were there that night. Bro, we're not saying who actually did it. What I'm showing you is that these people put paint where it ain't to make it a plausible deniability that the police killed Biggie Smalls so they could get off the $400 million lawsuit by the Christopher Wallace estate. I'm showing you that I don't believe that this is true. But they made it plausible deniability and were able to get off that lawsuit, which is all LAPD was worried about, because that would have bankrupted. Let's go.
From LA Confidential, where the detective is playing two suspects against each other that are in different. Both these parallel investigations.
So that's what happened with CS2 back. He gave up the Main Streets. It wasn't enough. They didn't want to put him on the stand, because if he gets on the stand and he's asked what happened with the gun cases, what happened with the wiretap, it would blow his cover and show that he was working on an ongoing murder investigation, which Greg Caden valued more than he did the Main Street case. Started a lot of bickering. Detective Michael Coed and Paul Fournier, as well as what was the other, the black cop name in the movie? He quits the task force. And as well as Detective Brennan and Ladd from Compton. They had a lot of internal issues on the joint task force, and that was one of the main reasons. Out of all of them, this was one of the biggest reasons. The fact that the sheriffs wanted to pursue and prosecute Shaquille O'Neal and Mark Stevens because they felt they had enough evidence, and Greg Caden undercut their investigation into the Main Street Crips because he wanted to save the city the $400 million. And if WACK100 would have took that stand, or Detective Fournier would have took that stand, WACK100, as a confidential source, 137, who was never supposed to testify, it would have came out. because he was questioned in relation to the attempted extortion. He was questioned, but we don't have that statement. He was questioned in relations to the Biggie Smalls, Death Row, and Suge Knight investigation. All of this would have been made public in the Main Street Mafia Crip investigation. And as a CS, Greg King couldn't let that happen because that's who gave them Poochie. Hey, Yael, anything before we go? We're going to cut this short. It's been 3 hours on the nose.
Man, I just want to say this, man. With all the information that's being presented and the key components that when this man is spinning narratives, he forgets that his intellectual supporters and intellectual brothers like yourself, Deuce, and myself, that can understand and bring those points out, like the federal building being closed on Sunday. I'm gonna say that one more time. The federal building, specifically off of Wilshire, is closed on Sundays. I'm gonna say this. If you are bypassing that key component to link this man and him being CS2 back 137 confidential source, I'm sorry. Your understanding is not there. You can't get no simpler form than that right there. We all didn't know that the federal building was closed on Sunday. Now that we know that it's closed on Sunday, you know this man is a liar. Pure lie, cap, narrative spinning. And if you choose to still believe this man on the grounds of the federal building being closed, and that was some of the highlight of him elaborating and justifying, him bringing his lawyer, going to the 64th floor, which is only 17 floors, seeing flapjackets on a Sunday with his lawyer, and it's closed. Yeah, he'll try to spin that. Okay, I said that, but I lied. Ha, got you. What did you lie about? What was the point of lying and spinning on that key, on just off of that alone? You have no justification. You knew you were lying the whole time, and you knew when you were on the when you were in the upper conference room, and they stopped the recording. I mean, they stopped taping you. They was getting ready to give you your proffer and give you your understanding. Okay, what you want to do? You want to work or not? That's what you were doing. Started working. And now the cat's out of the bag. And we all know. And every mind that understands in that chat, the supporters in that chat, the friends that tapped in that chat that heard this, you guys have a duty to do, and that's spread the truth. It's not about just coming in and supporting. It's not about just coming in and hitting the like button. It's about helping the community turn the narrative back. He's spinning the narrative, and he wants your kids and our homies and everybody else to keep promoting this BS. Fake gang violence that he's never participated in. He wants the stuff to keep going so he can have work to do, so he can tell on more people and get paid. Y'all got to make sure y'all identify who CS2 back is, and that's WACK100. And if you standing with Damu Kiwe, then this is the way. The internet is broad. It's word of mouth. And we appreciate everybody who taps in. We appreciate all the supporters. We appreciate everybody who's in the chat. Y'all know where it's at. Hey, man, listen. Y'all sat through 3 hours of content, man. Salute to everybody on Clubhouse. Salute to the goo. Salute to the mods on stage. And if you shared the room 3 times so in the hallway we can get our shine, salute to you, man. Salute to everybody in the YouTube live chat right now. The chat is and always is where it's at. Salute to the Blue Wrench mob that was on their job. And salute to the friends that tapped in for the first time, that like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you guys share this content. You just sat through 3 hours with Deuce M's the Don, Yael, the Kiwe pop star. bringing you that heat, bringing you the facts with the receipts, the authentic voices of the culture and the West Coast. Damu Kiwe Conversations.
And we out.